What's up, guys? We are live on this beautiful Friday night. It's a little late start, but we're going to get it going. So, I'm doing an experiment tonight. I'm trying to go live on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So, I don't know how the comments are going to work. I'm going to check it out right now. But this is episode number 118. Before we get it cracking, I just want to say thank you to everybody who reached out on a personal level to give their condolences about my mom, because I'm sure you guys have seen, I've been posting a lot about it. My mom passed away, so I know she would want the show on, so we're here and we're going to rock it and have a good time tonight. So that's what we're going to do. I just wanted to say thank you because a lot of people reached out in the comment sections and even personally, and that really meant a lot. So thank you for that. But this isn't a sad show. This is a fun show. So let's get into the chat here and see. Okay, cool. So it looks like YouTube is working and Facebook is working. Awesome, guys. This is good news. I figured there'd be no better way to bring the show back than I only took a week off. But I thought going live would be a good way to get back into the swing of things. I am going to share the link to the chat, or to the live in the chat. So anybody, this is an open house. If you want to jump on, talk Mopars, whatever's on your Mopar addicted mind, feel free to jump on. I have no agenda tonight, so who knows who may be dropping in. We're just going to have some fun. So there is the link. Let's check out these comments. What's up, everybody? Thanks for showing up. Logan, what's up, buddy? How's that Duster project going? I see you have it stored for the winter. That's cool. Ian, what's up, buddy? Tales from the Junkyard, what's up? John Wilburn. Okay, so John and I are actually going to go live tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time, and we're going to talk about, I don't want to get too into it right now. Unless, John, if you want to jump on and talk a little bit about it, feel free. There's a really cool event going on. I'm sure you guys have noticed, I've been trying to, post my back catalog to YouTube, and it's been a long time coming. And I'm excited to do it, and now I have even more of a reason to do it, because if by some miracle I manage to get 500 subscribers and get some money in my pocket and a car and a way to get it to Sikeston, Missouri, I could participate in this event. Now, this event is called the No Name Nationals. It is an event strictly for YouTube creators to battle it out on the drag strip. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm super excited about it. John put this whole thing together, and I know he had some help, but we're going to get into it. Here's John now. John, it says your devices are not connected. I'll wait until you get that situated here, and we'll get you on. But the event, the first one of its kind, and I think it's going to be a hit, because, we see these events like Roadkill Nights and, events like that are geared towards guys like us, blue collar guys that watch these shows and stuff. But this event is really for us. Finally we can start, as content creators, a lot of us don't have the backing of Motor Trend or big names like that. We just have YouTube channels, podcasts, and things like that. And this event, if you have 500 subscribers, you can come and test your stuff out at the track, call people out, have a good time. But John is in the chat. We're going to bring him in right now. John, what's up, buddy?
There we go.
Awesome. So I guess let's talk about
here.
No, I got you.
For me too. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Okay. Can everybody else hear me in the chat? I just want to make sure that technically we're doing okay.
I can't hear you guys.
Weird.
So let me check my mic.
10-4.
Camera's picking up.
Yeah, I got you on screen.
Maybe it's my speakers.
So, anyways, this event is going to be so cool, Sykeston, Missouri, and I'm just really excited. I don't know how big it's going to be, but I hope it's going to be huge because, like I said, this is the first annual. So, if it's big enough and we pack the place out, I say we like I had a part in organizing it. I did not, but if we all can converge onto Sykeston, Missouri, at Jeffers Raceway Park, I think it's called, then there may be more to come. Second annual, third annual, fourth annual. But it's going to be an awesome event for content creators to come out, and you'll be able to head out and see the projects that these guys have been working on through YouTube. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun, and I hope everybody can make it out. It is August 26th and 27th, I believe, but we're going to get confirmation from John. Let's try to bring John back on.
All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Awesome. I got you, buddy.
Excellent. I don't know what was wrong there. Everything looked like it was working, so it's a test for me too. What can I say?
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, great to have you on. We were actually planning on going live tomorrow night, but
Right.
we're here now. Do you want to just talk about it now? I think it'll work out. Yeah.
Well, I can give a primer because it's already plugged on my channel. You know what I'm going to do? So I'm not looking down at you guys. I'm going to put my little riser under my screen. And now I'm not looking at the floor. How's that?
Awesome.
A little friendlier. Yeah, I'll give a plug here. This event, we'll talk about it more tomorrow because we've had a little mix up on the date. As you can see here, it's 222 days. I found out hours ago, probably about 12 hours ago, that there's a snafu with the date. We're going to have it fixed tomorrow.
Okay.
We're 99% sure we've already got it. We're waiting for confirmation because we just don't want to have a problem with it. But it should give you just a few more weeks. It's just going to push it back a few weeks.
Okay.
It was something out of our control, but everything is still a go. And this thing is bigger than I ever thought it could be already.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that a lot of people have been reaching out to you already.
It's unreal. It's unbelievable. You know, it's funny. I mean, I expected we'd have a good turnout. I really did.
Yeah.
I don't play to lose, and I don't play to do things halfway. But I'm just having all of these people reach out of the woodwork. People on all time zones. I've been getting phone calls, phone ringing off the hook, email, registrations from people I don't even know who they are. This thing's just spreading like it's viral. So the invite list is already really impressive, but I just keep having people reach out to me. And so I'm talking to Dallas. Gosh, I probably talk to Dallas on the phone at least a half a dozen times a day because of all the things that keep coming up. So it's pretty amazing. It's humbling. It's wonderful. I think it's great to be able to meet all you guys. I sure hope you can make it. I heard you say that you want to put something together to bring, and that would be fantastic.
I've talked to some friends because I'm up in Washington by Seattle. So for me to drive what I would bring, which would naturally be some sort of a shit box, I wouldn't trust it. But I do have some friends that basically are in the surrounding states of Missouri. So I'm talking to them to see if we could put together a collaboration.
Sure.
I don't know if that's going to be possible, if I'll be able to actually participate in the event, but I will be there. And I do have a couple interesting ideas.
Why not? If you're going to be there, why not participate?
I'm trying to figure out, like, I thought it would be fun to be like, all right, what can I buy in that area and just go have some fun, you know?
That's a great idea. Well, I'll tell you, we've already got a guy who's giving away, he's going to be giving away a 72 Ranchero.
Really?
We're trying to figure out how to do it. It's a body shell. It's kind of a starter kit.
Okay.
And we got another guy who's thinking about bringing a big channel. He's thinking about giving away a car, like pulling something out of the wood, taking it there, giving it away. There's a lot of that stuff going on. So get creative. What I would say is if you have a massive Facebook following and a relatively small YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm exactly the opposite in that I have no Facebook presence at all. I don't do Facebook. What I'll say is you get, if you start making content and saying you're going to be there, you're going to get 500 subs in no time. And what we're going to do is we're going to have what's called the Cinderella Award for the person who starts a build to get the subs to get in. And so the person who grinds it out and makes their way, that's the Cinderella Award. And there's several channels doing it.
That's
Several.
really cool. Because I actually,
Bear
it's
Rose Garage, Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. There's a lot of them
really,
out there, and I'm loving
wow.
it. I'm cheering for all of them.
Yeah, I really like the prospect that this is going to encourage people to start creating content to get that following. That's really cool. And I actually wanted to run something by you, but it sounds like you're kind of already going that direction. But I was driving today and I thought, oh, it'd be really cool to do a Talking Mopars sponsor award, because I'm such a content creator guy that I love that people do it. And I thought, because I watched your guys' live when you announced the event, and I thought, gosh, I wonder how many guys are going to go in there with, 0 to, maybe a couple hundred subs, and they're just going to blow up along the way. I thought it would be cool to give somebody an award for the biggest progress, who had the most growth. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, cool.
That's what we want to do. That's the point.
Yeah.
I couldn't live long enough in 5 lifetimes to go visit and meet everybody whom I've met through YouTube. So what do? We throw the biggest automotive content YouTuber party has ever existed and get them all to come to us.
Yeah, I feel like an outsider because I have friends that dabble in YouTube, so I've been lurking for a while, and everybody on YouTube's pretty cool. I guess I paid too much attention to a lot of the comments that I was seeing, not necessarily on my friends' pages, but on other stuff. And I was like, I don't need that kind of hate in my life. Facebook's bad enough. But the group of people that I've been interacting with on YouTube they're all amazing guys. And I think you're onto something with this event, man, because like I was saying before you jumped on, we have all these events that guys like us like to go to, roadkill nights, yada yada yada. But there's nothing like, hats off to you for creating this event. Thank you. I think I speak for everybody.
So I say thank you. We're providing the venue. We're covering the insurance. We're covering the staff. The ambulance. You're going to have all the event staff to run it to people at the gate, the starter, the people in the booth, the track prep, concession stand workers. We got to take care of making sure the date's locked down, which is something we're having to do twice. We got to do all of that, all the logistics, getting people there, all of that stuff. But you guys, after all that's done, you guys are the ones who are going to make the show. And that's what I told you. So different about this than a traditional race. You guys are going to make the show, and we don't have to tell you how to do it because you're content creators.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
We give you the platform and turn you loose.
I can't wait.
We're giving an award for the biggest oil down.
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny.
Where else would
yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see the content that comes out from this event because you're going to get
man.
so many different angles. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be amazing.
If I don't have any way to vehicle to participate with, I'm definitely going to be in those pits. I'm going to be the man, the boots on the ground, talking to everybody about their projects, because this is an opportunity for content for everybody that shows up. I mean, if you go there and don't get content, well, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean?
I think it's cool, and like I said, this is about you guys. We want to provide the platform, and what I'm hoping is that because all of us have at least some people that watch our channel, right? Or we wouldn't be doing it. Hopefully, we're going to find out how mobile those viewers are and motivated to come meet their favorite content creators.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to have spectators. And then the spectators, they're what's going to help us make it successful, at least enough financially that I can keep some money in the account for this thing to roll into another event in the future. So what I'm saying is that doesn't happen if we don't make this one successful.
Do you have any sponsors on board for this event right now?
Not yet. Right now, we have to make sure our data's together.
Yeah, sure.
That's imperative. And then we still got some loose. I mean, I've been just thrashing like 3 days. You know what? I woke up this morning and I bet you I've had more time with a phone to my ear than I haven't. It's been unreal. I mean, it's been crazy. Yeah. But once it settles down here and whenever it settles down, it'll settle down a little bit. I plan to look for some sponsors for some things. There's things we're working on. There's a lot of things we're going to do. We're going to make some commercials for the event. We're going to keep working toward, because what it is yeah, people have 222 days plus the new extra time tacked on now.
Yeah.
But the thing is we have to keep people focused for all that time too.
Sure.
So while they
Absolutely.
have plenty of time to work, we have plenty of work to do to keep this on the tip of the spear.
Is there do you have something in place so that people can check to see if their favorite content creators are registered for this event? Are you gonna do something like that?
That's a great question. So we opened registration 3 days ago. We've already got a lot of people there. What I'm planning on doing is each time we do a new video, I'm going to say, these are people who have registered, because everybody
Awesome.
I've asked seems to be fine with it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking for our live tomorrow, to do our live tomorrow, I can say, I'll give you the list. These are people who have registered.
Awesome.
And we keep adding to that. So each time we do a new live, each time we do a new video, we'll say, hey, these are people who have come on board since last time.
Yeah. So cool. Oh man. It's
I had a 700 and some thousand subscriber channel reach out to me this morning.
oh gosh.
I mean, there's some big fish coming to this thing.
Yeah, I remember on your guys' live you were talking about, the place shutting down because you get so many people that there's no room for everybody that wants to go.
Yeah, we're checking the fire marshal capacity for spectators.
Yeah.
We figured out how many spots are going to be at the track. And that's one thing about Jeffers. See, the thing about Jeffers is a lot of people they think, why Jeffers Motorsports Park? But Jeffers has a lot of things that, shower houses, AC power hookup for camping. The way it's laid out to get the race parking and the show parking. And then we got to figure out how many of each, because you don't want, guys running a bracket running through the show area.
Yeah.
And so we got to figure all that out. And Jeffers has a lot of advantages for that. Oh, and it's a wonderful track. I mean, the facility's so good. The track is prepped really well. So there's a lot of good things about Jeffers for that. And we've had to figure this stuff out, but we also are figuring out what's our true capacity.
Sure. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful track. I'm really excited to check it out. I've never been to Missouri. I drive trucks for a living, and I've been around the country, but never made it to Missouri. And
Really?
I was looking at some of the pictures, and I was like, that is a cool looking track. And just the field that is there, I can't see any other outcome other than that place being packed. So
yeah, I think I'll tell you what, if it gets down to a quarter of what it is now, but stays sustained for the next few months, we'll still sell it out. Because what's happened the past few days has been crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because I was like, okay, for me being so far away and having limited vacation time, yada, 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 I was like, gosh, I have to make it, even if it's just for the week. I'll fly out to one of my buddies' places and we'll drive up. I have to be at this event. I've made that decision. I was like, I can't miss this one. There's just something about that first annual, that inaugural event that it has a great aura, and I'm really excited about it. I do have to ask you, this was solely your idea? You just came out with this event out of the blue, or what?
Okay, so look, everybody, as long as I can remember, said, "Oh, it'd be great to have a meetup somewhere." Oh, well, a bunch of us ought to get together at a track. I've heard that for years.
Yeah.
But I told, I'll find it. It's right here. I was talking to Andy Wood. Andy Wood, Unity Motorsports Garage?
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Has a Casper, real popular truck. I was talking with Andy, and it's right here. What were we saying? I said 1,000 people said something like this ought to happen. 200 said they'd go to such a thing. 10 said they'd chip in. 5 said they'd look into it. And 1's actually doing it. Here we are. So I said, you know what? We got to make this happen. And so I knew basically what I wanted to do. And it's the first phone call I made. The first phone call I made was to Dallas Brown. I said, he is absolutely the right strategic partner for this, because all the stuff I can't do, Dallas is good at. Okay, so he knows the track and the infrastructure side, and how to work with the track owners and how to arrange the dates and deal with all that stuff. And Dallas is really good at that. That's his forte. It's what he does. He's president of AHRA. The side that Dallas that I help him with is on the YouTube and what the content creators need and how they're going to best put themselves over in the context of this event because it's different than a racer.
Yeah.
So, for example, what I told him was, I said, this is going to be the first race ever where you have somebody come 1,000 miles as a spectator, spend 3 nights in a motel, spend $2,000 on the trip. They see their favorite driver go out in the first round, but they're thrilled to tears because they got a selfie with him.
Yeah.
That's not normal for a race, but for this will also be the only race you've ever seen where you have the guy who oils the track down and has a spectacular explosion happier than the guy who won it, because the guy who won it didn't get any money, but the guy with the oil down got a bunch of views and content. So see, that's why this is really different than your traditional race. So we have worked together on this thing to try to move the idea forward, and so far, so good. It's going really, really well.
Yeah, I don't remember when it was, but months ago, I was in on a live with you and Brian and I think Ruben. And I don't know how far along you were with planning it at that point, but it seems like it just took on a life of its own, and here we are talking about Sikeston.
Yeah, well, I had the idea kicking it around, and I'd already talked to Alan, but I knew it was going to take some months to get this thing to fruition. Now, I told you then, you had expressed interest in it. You're the first media person that reached out, so I said, you'll be my first media stop once we announce it. And I kept that word.
I'm such an underdog guy. I love the whole YouTube community that I've found myself involved in, and there's something there. I don't know if maybe I've just been missing out, but it seems like there's just this bubble of content that is just growing and growing and growing. And I see guys like us and the blue collar guys that don't have big corporate backers. I think we're going to take over some stuff here. I think pretty soon the corporations are going to go, okay, something's happening. We need to lock in some of these guys or something.
It's already happened. So, for instance, the biggest sanctioning body for drag racing in the world, we all know who they are. They cater to 32 cars in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And they all cost $10 million a year to run. They all have jockey drivers. They all look just alike. And they all have big corporate sponsors, right?
Absolutely.
Well, okay, well, what do the rest of us do? We don't really identify with that. You can put Toyota on a Top Fuel funny car. What in the world bearing does that have on the person shopping for a new Camry?
Yeah.
I mean, tell me. So this is an event for the rest of us. So but the only threshold we really made was 500 subscribers. And the reason for that is, I asked our friend Just Mopar Joe, I said, Joe, would you want to watch a show with people who aren't invested enough in their content, their automotive creator content to ever go out and really earn any subs? He said, no, I'd pay not to watch it.
Yeah. When I first heard it was 500, I was like, he's still going to get so many.
Well, I am. That's what I said. You want a chance to win the Cinderella Award, please come and do it. Because you know what? We might have 100 guys like that who try to get in the mix, but I guarantee you that come showtime, it's going to dwindle and dwindle. But there will be a few who surprise us and make following the group worth it all.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's going to go in there with 500 subscribers and they're going to go home, post their content, and they're just going to blow up just because, there's so much good stuff out there that just isn't seen, just because there is, I don't like to use the word oversaturated, but when I go onto YouTube, I'm a Mopar guy. So naturally my search term is Mopar. And thankfully I see most of the channels that I watch anyway when I do watch, because admittedly I have so many friends involved in YouTube and I haven't even seen all their videos just because I'm so busy doing my stuff. That now that I'm getting into YouTube, I'm like, all right, so now I'm starting to dig in a little bit more, and I'm like, I think I'm just so late to the game that I didn't realize how crazy YouTube is, and these like communities that have been building, it's really remarkable, and I think this event is really going to showcase, because it's. Each one of us knows so many people that are already talking about going to this thing. It's going to be just basically a big party of friends just having fun at a racetrack.
I'll tell you, it's so. For instance, there is another. So I do live streams every other week on my channel, And so I'm certainly going to be getting people registrants for this and interviewing them about their rise to Sykeston, their road, what they're doing, how they're preparing, right? Well, it's interesting. There's another competing live stream, and sometimes we're on at the same time, and they do a weekly show, and they have the top NHRA drivers every week. I'm talking, they have John Force, reigning champions, Greg Anderson, et cetera, A-listers. And typically our streams, my little 1900 sub channel outperforms them. Now, they have a whole lot of subscribers, but they don't get as many views. And I think it's because, again, people identify more with the guests I have on here because they're watching their channels on YouTube. They're invested. Sure. You know, lots, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and even thousands, a few thousand people turn out to watch and see everything. Just Mopar Joe and Blake from Bad Tree Productions and Jay from Rapid Transit. They turn out to see what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
And so we wind up having a better group of commenters. In fact, when Dallas and I did that live, Competition Plus was on at the same time, and we more than doubled their concurrent viewership. And they had Pat Musey on.
Wow.
But that's because we had, I'll tell you who our guest was. Our guest was everybody in the comments.
You know, and that's something that I've noticed in this little community. I'm like, you know, some of these channels, like Ruben's channel, he's knocking on the door of 1,000 subscribers. And every time I go in there, I'm, you know, it's not that I'm blown away. That's the wrong way to say it. But I'm pleasantly surprised at the content just in the comments alone. I'm like, this is great. They don't have to be on screen, and it's a great community. And every time I go in there, I'm just like, it's a party in the comments. You know, it's like
Ruben needs 40 subs to get his 1,000. But I'll tell you, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. He has scratched his way up there, and he's earned it.
I will never stop singing his praises and Brian's praises enough because those guys are soldiers. I started doing these lives and stuff, and I've had a couple where, you know, 3 or 4 hours, something crazy like that. And then I go on and I see these guys on for 8 hours, 9 hours. I'm like, you guys are maniacs, but this is good because there's people, you know, like they say, there's an ass for every seat. I love knowing that they're out there just grinding, and they're going to blow up. I was like, if you guys keep doing these 9-hour lives, that alone, people are going to be like, you know, these guys go on live streams for 9 hours. They're insane. But it's always fun. Every time I've tuned in or jumped on, it's always a great time. I've said it before on many of the other live streams that I've been on, and even my own, that this is the future. Aside from the real content, you know, with the cars and stuff, this right here is the community that's building right now, and I don't see an end to it in sight. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to get to the point where everybody gets together and go, you know, we could start our own network. We don't really need, you know, the powers that be, we'll say, to help get our content out there. I think people will eventually just follow you wherever you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, networks, they're not leading the way anymore. It's amazing how many people watch YouTube has just completely replaced television for them.
Yeah.
I haven't watched television since 2015. There's nothing on worth watching.
I agree.
And, you know, Ruben, his first live, when he first started about a year ago, he turned on a live and just turned it on all weekend while he worked on his Roadrunner. He had one guy watching. I said, how is that not the creepiest thing ever, having one guy watch you work all week? But anyway, well, now Ruben gets 20, 22, 24 people on his lives watching. So he has a legitimate following in his lives. But
absolutely.
The guy has ideas. And like all of us, some ideas are better than others, but he's a warrior. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
You know, one thing that I've noticed with the content creators on YouTube that I know personally is that you're not, like, when I watch, one thing that I've always been, you know, really adamant about is authenticity. I try to be myself, you know, take me or leave me. I try to be myself, and everybody I know is, you know, they're themselves. They don't try to put on a front. Ruben's one of those guys. Brian's one of those guys. You're one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. I don't like to I don't like to watch people that are really playing to the camera. I just want to see you be yourself. If I like you, I like you. You know, and I know that that's what the audience they also feel that way, and I think that's why, you know, so many of these content creators are just blowing up. I've seen some of the numbers on some of these bigger channels, and it boggles my mind how many people, you know, follow them and
You
subscribe.
said you drive a truck. You said you do drive a truck, right?
Yeah.
Well, I sell real estate. So I've done for 19 years. And I heard something or read something one time a long time ago that I thought was really interesting when it comes to selling. And of course, on YouTube, you're selling. You're either people are sold on what you're doing and they subscribe and they watch, or they don't.
Sure.
That's just natural order of things. But I heard somebody say one time from professional wrestling. He said the people with the most successful gimmicks who sell their character are the people who are the closest to their gimmicks. So, in
Yeah.
other words, if you live that life and you really are that character, you're going to be a lot more successful and sell it because that makes you authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so these guys who were really crazy and played crazy characters, but they were really crazy outside, and so that was just the gimmick was an extension of the real personality.
Yeah.
They were very successful, and I can tell you, YouTube's like that too. So if you meet me here, if you meet me somewhere else, you're going to see the same person. There's
Yeah.
nothing, and uh, Uncle Tony's garage. We all turn it up a little bit for the camera because we have to communicate. But Tony's the same guy. Blake Bad Tree Productions is the same guy. Just Mopar Joe is the same guy. So all the people who are the same person and they're authentic and they're not making up something that's because people will see fakery in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah, they
People
will.
who are fake, that people lose interest in that. But I'll tell you, all the folks that I know through YouTube, you meet the same person on camera and off.
Yeah. Everybody that I've met so far, because I have so many, like I call them all friends. Some of them I haven't even met in person, and the ones that I have, I don't know what it is, but it's like, uh, it's everybody's real. Everybody's just as cool as they are on here. Um, I I'm just so excited for this event because, like you said, getting everybody together in one place, you get to shake some hands, you know, and just have a good time. The event is just gonna be so much fun, and it's unlike anything. Like, I don't think I can stress that enough to everybody watching and listening to this. How cool this event is! Just the concept of it is going to be unbelievable, and I'm 100% positive that there's going to be a lot of people that just attend the event going, you know what, I think I'm going to start a channel. You know,
Oh, I
that
hope so. That's fantastic.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's great. And you can get advanced spectator tickets. I have paused the registration page just until tomorrow
Okay.
because we want to make sure that we have this date thing resolved. We have it resolved, but we want to make sure that we get a couple more confirmations, just, out of abundance of precaution. I've
Mhm.
got the registration page paused at the moment. I'll reopen it tomorrow. It's already updated. So, but anyway, you can buy spectator tickets there as well.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
so far, it's people have been going there. They've been signing up, and the response has been overwhelming. Is not too strong a word. I'm not a fan of hyperbolic language, but when I say the response has been overwhelming, I mean it.
And you know, for all the people out there that are going, oh well, you know, I don't have a big page, or I gosh, that Sykeston, Missouri is so far away from where I live. Right now, go look up plane tickets. I can assure you that if you look
Yeah,
at the price to get in the vicinity and get a cheap rental for the day,
yeah.
or for the couple days, I think you'd be surprised at how cheap you could make this trip. That's that. Like I said, that's the least of what I'm going to do. I'm at least flying down to have a good
Sure.
time. Um, you know, I'll bring my camera with me and make some content. But I really want to stress that if you're thinking that you're too far away, just do yourself a favor and go to one of the airline companies online and just see how much it would cost. And I think you'd be surprised at how cheap you can make this trip actually happen. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do it for a few $100.
One thing I'll say is that if you enjoy what you watch on YouTube and you have favorite content creators in the automotive space, there is no place ever before where you can meet as many of them in person as this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there will never be as many automotive content creators in one spot ever as we're going to have there already.
Yeah, it's kind of like, one thing that I've always enjoyed about doing these live streams is that, I could, there's a couple people that I could think of that, that probably have no business being on my little page or on my little show. But what I really enjoy is getting people like Dylan and Logan. I see you guys. I'm not ignoring you. I promise I'll bring you on in a minute. These
Yeah, there's a
guys,
lot of new names over here that I don't know, and
yeah.
because I'm on your show. Because I'm on your show, and I'm used to being on the left side of the screen. I'm usually welcomed as they come in, but it's just a different experience. I'm not usually on this side of the screen.
It is kind of weird. Every time I go on somebody else's live, I kind of just shut down and just listen and I feel like a lurker, but I like not having to do the hosting job and just kind of chime in every once in a while. I like that.
Sure.
But I love having an open door policy to my show where if you want to come on, even if a troll wanted to come on and talk some, what, hey, come on. Nobody's done it yet, so.
Well, Ruben learned a good lesson with trolls.
Oh yeah,
yeah. His first couple streams, he had some good. So first of all, you can have the really low level trolls,
yeah,
who are really lame, right? The little hit and run ones. But then you can get a high level troll, the ones that will come into your streams with costumes on, and they use picture graphics to try to get their stuff by the mods and stuff. So there's different levels of trolls, and Ruben, like his very first or second big stream, he got hit with a couple. They got him good and early.
Oh man, well he's broken in then. Once you get the first couple trolls, then the rest of them kind of come easier. I remember the first couple of people that trolled me hard. I was like, I took it personally, and then I realized, hey, this is the internet. You know what I mean?
Well, see, everybody handles them differently, and as long as it's all in good fun and you're having fun, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling on myself here. I'm telling on Joe. Just Mopar Joe. He likes watching me smack trolls around in the comments. It's kind of like a sport to him. So sometimes he'll screen capture one and send me because he knows what's coming, right? And so I don't mind. It's all in good fun, and the trolls have got to enjoy it too. They're doing it to be inflammatory.
Sure.
So if you go in the comments and smack them around and it's all in good fun, they have to enjoy it too. They got the reaction they wanted. The commenters enjoyed it, right? So as long as it doesn't turn into anything real, who cares? It's all in good fun.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, it's funny. It's the internet, and recently my mom passed away. So I made a post on my Facebook about it on the Talking Mopars page, and overwhelmingly, nothing but positivity. And I was like, I would be surprised if anybody trolled this. And sure as anything, there was two people. It started with one guy, and he was basically, it was a sorry for your loss. What does she think about this scam? And I was like, scam? What is this guy talking about? And somebody said scam, and he goes, yeah, I hate. Basically, what he was saying was that I posted that to get to elicit an emotional response from the people, and I was like, what kind of a scumbag would do something like that? That's what insulted me more. I was like, wow.
It's perfectly, it's okay to fire your viewers when you need to. I told Joe, I said, it's perfectly okay. Look, it's like casting flash. Okay. Sometimes you just need to break that stuff off and clean things up, and it improves the product.
Yeah. I was, they caught me in an emotionally vulnerable state, and I was getting ready to reply, and I was like, really? I'm going to waste my time talking to this tool. Yeah. I mean, and the sad part is, he's probably right. There probably are people out there that would do something crazy like that. I mean, we see people do wild stuff all the time just to get a response, but I was shocked. I was like, man, if I ever saw somebody do that and I found out they were lying.
Well, you can get to a place of really a high professionally developed troll. So Uncle Tony's Garage, of course, I'm a mod on his channel, so I'm real familiar with this guy. Brian Cabral has dedicated his life for the last year and a half, 2 years, to trolling Tony. He has over 600 videos of his head in a dark room in a box, droning on for 20 minutes at a shot, complaining about Tony. And it's just amazing to me. And he's even
Wow.
got his own groupies. He's got about 300 subscribers, but he dedicated his life to hating all things Uncle Tony's Garage.
Wow.
So one time he retired for like 3 weeks, but he said he was retiring from the troll business. And Tony's like, no, don't stop. Don't stop. You're good for business. And he came back. He couldn't help it.
That is hilarious.
That's some high level trolling there.
Man, now I don't feel as popular. Now I feel like you got to get on that level.
Cabral is like a regular recurring character amongst
Gosh.
the commenters on Tony's channel now.
Wow. He's building his own character. That's funny.
And I'm telling you, he's building a channel based on hating another channel. But
Wow.
it's a shame I've been blocked over there, because sometimes I'd like to go see if he makes a video. I have a feeling what's coming. So we're Tony and Andy Wood are match racing at the No Name Nationals, right? They're running for money at the No Name Nationals. I have a feeling Cabral is going to make a video on that, right? And I'm going to share it. And I share it. I can't even comment on his videos because I've been blocked.
Oh man,
it's such a great feeling when these trolls can contribute to the ecosystem by force. It's wonderful.
That's great. I'm really excited about the event. I don't want to spoil it for too many people. So tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. John's going to be back.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Oops. We're gonna talk about it again. So,
of course,
for all of you watching and those of you that'll be listening tomorrow morning and early afternoon, any questions you have about the event.
Jump back in, because we're going to have probably a lot of people. I see a lot of Facebook folks in here, and I see a few regulars like Blake and Jay from Rabbit Transit Garage, Bad Tree. But we'll have a lot of regulars come over from YouTube, so you'll get to meet a lot of the commenters and such over here, I'm sure. It'll
be fun, and I got to be honest, I'm really excited about this simultaneous live streaming, because it's gonna mix the worlds a little bit, and who knows? You guys might gain some subscribers.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to jump out.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
But I'll tell you what, you got a lot of cool cats in the comments though. So hopefully they jump.
I know. I'm going to get to those comments. I see all you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So tune in tomorrow. John's going to be back. We're going to talk about No Name National some more. John, thank you for showing up tonight and chatting with us. All right, buddy.
See you later, Chris.
See you tomorrow. All right. We've got a couple of my buddies in the green room right now. Let's bring them in. One is Dylan and the other is Logan. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Welcome to the show.
I've got 3 things going on here, so hold on. Give me a minute.
I'm just watching Mecum auction reruns right now. So,
hey, I've been hearing a lot about some of the prices for these cars. Is it really that crazy? I haven't been watching it today.
$65,000 for a Duster.
What? Wow. What kind of Duster are we talking here? Are we talking numbers matching?
Numbers matching. I mean, it's not a speck of anything wrong with it.
Wow. That's a lot of money for an A-body. Holy shit. That's got to make an A-body owner go, hey, that might be in some money here.
Right?
Yeah, I saw I think it was a Macho Power Wagon clone that I heard went for like 50-something grand. I was like, that blew me away. I was like, oh my God, crazy.
Yeah, I know there's I don't know if it happened during the week or whatever. It was a super stock dart that was never raced, anything that was going to be up for auction. I don't know how much it went for, if it even went yet.
Wow. That's one of my dream cars. I would love to get my hands on one of those, but that's a original super stock dart or any of those super stock A bodies, the Barracuda too, 6 figures easily.
Oh, easy.
I remember for a long time it was touted as like the most badass muscle car ever made, but I always thought it was a little bit skewed because it technically wasn't street legal. So I was like, that's kind of
right.
Definitely a cool car for sure. So what do you got going on right now? Is the Duster down for the winter?
Down for the winter. I made a contract deal with my boss because I don't have a garage. He has a giant shop. So for, I think it's like $55 a month and whatnot. I'm storing it there, heated, climate controlled. I mean, everything. He's like, problem is you can't work on it. And I was like, dude, you're going to kill me here.
Yeah, I feel like an asshole because I was thinking, I was like, you know what, I'm going to get a couple more cruises in with the Mr. Norm truck, you know, before winter hits. And then I got hit with a snowstorm. So now I raced to get covers for it. And thankfully the snow's gone now, so I can get it into the garage. But that was a bad move on my part. Winter came really quick, and we got deep in it really fast. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like here. I mean, it was pretty stagnant for a while. We weren't getting any snow, and all of a sudden we just got just crap load of snow and cold weather. And now it's, I think today was like mid 30s. So it felt like a nice spring day for us.
What do you think about this No Name Nationals event?
It's interesting.
Right?
I mean, it almost reminds me, it kind of, I wouldn't say it's similar, but almost like the Gambler 500.
Yeah, for drag racing.
For drag racing, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's,
yeah.
I mean, if I had, the resources and whatnot, I'd participate in it, but
Save a few pennies and fly down.
I got a family trip to go to Texas in March, so I got to do that. And then I'm trying to save up the rest of my vacation time to go to like SEMA and PRI.
Yeah, sure. There's just so many. That's one thing I'm having a real problem with is deciding which events that are a priority for me and which ones I'm going to try to make, but probably won't. Like the first event of the year for me is going to be Muscle Cars at the Strip in March. So that's going to be a good one. That's the 20th anniversary. Johnny Mopar is going to be joining me there, and I'm sure a bunch of our friends are going to be there. But I got, I just decided to get the plane tickets and the hotel, and I got myself I got a cooler rental car this time. Last time I was down in Vegas for SEMA, I got the V6 300C. I wasn't going to cut it. I was like, I should have got something cooler. And I'm not sponsored by them, but if you guys are looking for a rental car, try Turo. That's Turo. So that's what I use. And you can get, Challengers, Chargers, exotic sports cars if you want. I opted for a Charger Scat Pack wide body for like $80 a day. I was like, damn, that's cheap. So
now, can you go out of the state with those, or do you have to stay in state?
I don't know about. I think you can go out of state because you have a certain amount of mileage. You can pay for unlimited mileage. Some people include that in the standard rental fee. But I've never seen anything about not taking it out of state. So that I have seen things like no burnouts, things like that. But so if you do rent a car from Turo and you get a little crazy with it, just make sure you wipe the rubber off. But I know that some guys put GPSs in their rentals, and they can see if you've accelerated really fast, how fast you've been going, every time you stab the throttle. Like, it's super detailed data that you can get from these GPS units. So
holy cow,
can't get too crazy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Dylan, what's up, buddy? You ready to join us or what?
I think so.
What you got? what you got going on, man? First time guest.
Oh yeah, terrible Wi-Fi. That's something.
I dealt with that for a long time, dude.
We're out in the middle of nowhere, and of course we're just getting hammered with snow right now. And
oh gosh,
I don't know if you can hear a cat in the background. I just saved a cat about 3 hours ago.
That was nice of you.
I call it my Hellcat.
That's funny.
No, it's going good, I think. So I decided not to work today. So, and I'm glad I didn't, because there's wrecks everywhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I live up in the Seattle area, and every time it snows, people like forget how to drive in it. So there's wrecks all the
Typical.
Yeah. You have a really cool car, and you haven't had a chance to tell your story yet. So if you want, I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I've got it's a 1970 Dodge Challenger RT. It is a matching numbers car. the whole story on it, it's kind of a lengthy little story. My dad, he bought it in 1980 for $1,500 from a guy. It was sitting out on a farm. This farmer, it was about 20 miles from. I'm originally from Southwest Iowa. I live in Southeast Iowa now. And anyways, at the time, my dad worked at Pizza Hut in high school. And he was working the day he wanted to go buy the car, so he sent his brother, my uncle. And my uncle at the time had a 70 Cuda with a 383. Okay. It wasn't a Magna. It was just a bare stock 383. And so he sent my uncle to go buy this car and bring it back to town while he was working, and paid the $1,500 or whatever. And my uncle showed up to Pizza Hut when my dad was working. He was just pissed. And Dad couldn't figure out why. And he was like, this thing is ridiculous. He was like, my Cuda doesn't even stand a chance. And so anyways, Dad had it through high school. And of course, like any kid back then in 1980, 81, 82, he was drag racing it all the time. And whether he didn't tell me any stories of him losing or not, all of his friends that are alive today tell me they've never seen that car lose a race. And I was like, whatever, but anyways, long story short, in 82, when he graduated high school, the motor was starting to get a little weak. And after he graduated high school, he decided to pull the motor out and have it rebuilt. And the guy that he had rebuild it back home in Southwest Iowa, he's still my engine builder to this day. His boy built my race car motor that I had. And his dad, they still own just a father-son engine shop back home in Atlantic. And believe it or not, I actually printed out just before you went live the build sheet from 1983, the receipts.
Oh, cool.
And I still got them, as well as I still have all the original paperwork to the car, the factory paperwork and everything. But
wow.
Dad, he never got around to putting it back together after it was rebuilt. And so it just sat in the garage or the shop or whatever. And in 90, whatever year my parents got married, before I was born, everything was just sitting in the garage or whatever. And come 2000, I don't remember what. He'd probably remember better than I would. Whatever year the Mopars started to go up in value really, really fast. And Dad always said, by this time I was born, Dad always said, my dream is one day you and I are going to rebuild this car. He was like, and that way I can hand it down to you when you're older. And, because I never heard it. I knew about it. I accidentally ran into it with my bicycle one time and got my got my tail whipped pretty good for that one. But anyways, I got to high school and it just always sat in the garage. We always just had it there, and all my friends would come over and I was like, look at this car that one day I'm gonna get. And I know nothing. I knew a little bit of stuff because always being with Dad and always talking about Mopar stuff all the time, but I didn't actually know. Like my mindset at that time was just like, oh yeah, I got this sweet car, whatever. I don't know how to do anything or work on anything.
Sure.
But my mom and dad ended up getting divorced, and my dad he didn't care about anything. He just wanted me in the divorce or whatever. And I was 14 at the time. And so my mom tried to take the car.
Oh, no.
Just to piss him off. And during this whole court process deal, the judge, he asked, like, he mentioned to Dad that she's trying to go after the car. And in the middle of the court, Dad is just like, oh, she can't have it. He's like, the car's not mine. And everybody was just kind of scratching their head. They're like, what do you mean? The car's not yours. It's that car, even to this day, is in my grandmother's name and my grandmother's still alive. She's 81 years old, and so it belligerently just ruined my mom's whole plan.
Oh,
And
man.
so the car, basically, you know, because she would have got a hold of that, we're, you know, toast.
Oh, man.
And so that kind of added to the story a little bit. Well, anyways, fast forward to 2014, my dad passed away to cancer. And at that time, I had a little bit of his, you know, life insurance money and whatnot, but I went back go-kart racing. I raced go-karts for a while, and then
Cool.
did that, got away from home, got away from everything, and sold my race car. And I was like, I need to do something with this car. Like, God forbid I ain't going to sell it, but
Yeah.
I need to do something with it. And a family friend of my dad's, my dad's, to this day, he's got some of the best friends in the world that look over me still. And one of my dad's buddies, I call him Pop now. A lot of the videos and pictures I share are in that shop, his own mechanic shop back home, or his machine shed where I keep everything still. And he said, you help me put together a truck I've got in one of the bays. And he was like, we'll move that truck out. We'll bring your car down, and you can we can start going to town on it. And I really didn't have a whole lot of money. I literally was the point I was selling like my furniture in the house, and
Oh, man.
I sold the TV. And so anyways, we got the car down there and got the engine down there and transmission down there, because everything was separate, but it had been rebuilt. Obviously, it just never got put back together. And we got it down there, and the first thing I did is, you know, it sat for 30 plus years, and excuse me, Dad had it like the heads, he didn't have valve covers on it, but he had like, it was wrapped in duct tape and like plastic bags, like grocery bags. And so there's like chunks of like plastic bags and you know, duct tape chips. Anyways, I had my engine builder, Bryce, come down to the shop. I was like, can you help me take these heads off? You know, so you can kind of show me what I need to do. And I've got the pictures. I'll have to send them to you. I pulled the heads off, and after 35 years of sitting, they were like glass. I mean, you could eat off of them, spotless. Wow. And he was like, that's about the best thing you could see right now.
Sure.
And it still had all the pre-assembly lube on it after I pulled the valley pan, or the valley tray. And he was like, I'll take the heads up to the shop, clean them up, go through them, make sure they're good. And he was like, you can throw this thing right back together and get it ready to throw in the car. I was like, whew, sweating bullets there. And so I had my older half brother. He works at a parts store. I had him order me a set of headers, just cheap long tube Headman headers that I think this will be the fourth time I've had to weld holes up in them, because they just keep blowing holes through. And but Dad's best friend surprised me when it was down at the shop. I'd slaving on this thing, trying to get the motor put in. One of the guys locally, he's had his car featured in a couple Mopar magazines. His name's Brad Reapy. He's got that all black Roadrunner with the Pro Stock Hemi in it. And it's got like saw blade wheels and everything on it. Anyways, he was the only person I could get a hold of that had motor mounts for my car. I couldn't, you know, nobody around us really had Mopars other than my dad's best friend and this guy. And so I kind of felt ripped off a little bit, but I spent a good chunk just on motor mounts and got that in, got the transmission in. And Dad's best friend showed up one day with a brand new set of Krager SS's and BFGs. And he was like, this car is not leaving the shop unless it looks like the way your dad left it. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, and anyways, he had his car show coming up, and I was trying to get it done for his car show because he didn't think it was going to be ready in time. There was just too many little things that needed done. And I couldn't figure out the kick down situation, you know, because even now today, I'm still learning a lot of stuff. I've always been a Mopar fanatic, but I, you know, I wasn't there to work on it with my dad, and my dad knew everything about that car. And so I was just kind of fly by wire with who I call Pop and whatnot at the shop and everything. When I put everything together, I was going by that 1970s Hayes manual or Shilton manual, whatever it was. I didn't use, you know, I looked at the internet for some stuff, but all torque specs and everything, I used that old book, and we still have it. And that thing I still go to for all references. And we ended up about an hour before his car show started. We had like 6 guys in there. It looked like a NASCAR pit stop because I had guys like under the hood, and they were like, "Don't get out of the car. We're adjusting the carburetor and this and that, and the kick down, so on and so forth." Well, they couldn't get the kick down figured out, and so they just decided, they're like, "Screw it. We're gonna shove the kick down, have it wide open, so the transmission's got fluid to go through, but we're just gonna tie it up. That way, you only got first gear. That's all you need. You got first gear and reverse. That's all you need." I don't care, whatever, and pulled it out and showed up. We're rolling up to my dad's best friend's car lot for this car show, and driving down the street, and my hands look, you know, just shaking. You're getting the leg pump, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do with my hands. And of course, me being me, and still to this day, I run at open headers, and I'm about 3 blocks away, and I'm just coasting it in neutral, just slapping the throttle as hard as I can to literally, no joke, everybody's moving up from the car lot to the highway as I'm pulling in. And standing right there is my dad's best friend, and just ghost white, and couldn't believe it. And so he the only bad thing is, when I was coming into his entrance, there's a little lip in his drive entrance, and I nicked the oil pan right on it.
Oh shit.
Oof.
And so the whole car show, I'm RTV siliconing my oil pan while everybody else is like surrounding the car looking at it. And that was one of the coolest experiences with that. And I decided, since I got it done, I was going to go back to college, and I was going to take the red car with me, which is a terrible idea. And where I was going to go to college was Arkansas City, Kansas. And that's from Atlantic, Iowa, where I'm from. That's about a 6.5-hour trip in a normal vehicle. That car, I've still got the 410 gears in it, open headered. At that time, it was with the 284, 484 purple shaft cam. And I let that thing sing. It took me 10 hours to get down there because I took all highways. And I was scared crapless. I slept in the car the first 2 nights because I didn't want anybody near the car. I didn't know anybody for hours of me. And I was down there for like 3 weeks. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm going back home. And but I got a picture of, like, right next to the Oklahoma, so like, welcome to Oklahoma sign, because it was right on the border of Oklahoma. And I was like, I actually accomplished something pretty incredible in my life. I got Dad's car done, which was a dream of his, and I drove it this far, which is the dumbest thing I could probably ever do, because what a lot of people don't know about the car, and which you're going to find out now, is that car still to this day is stock front suspension. I haven't touched it other than greased it. It's, needless to say, it needs a lot of work on front suspension. The air shocks on it, or the air shocks Dad had on it, they're bottomed out. They don't hold air anymore, so it just riding on leaf spring. The worst part of that car was the trunk pan. The whole floor and everything in the car is solid. This car does not have a lot of rust at all.
Nice.
There was just a couple holes in the floor pan. Well, at the time, I was in a hurry to go to college with that car, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I can't make it with this gas tank, the original gas tank. Well, a guy from in town had my old 32-gallon fuel cell out of my old race car, and I was like, I know how to weld. I'm a welder. I'll put I'll put a new trunk floor pan in later. Screw it. We're putting this fuel cell in. So I've got a 32-gallon fuel cell blocked up on 2x4s in the trunk. Still now. It kind of looks cool from the back. It's like, dang, what's that hanging out from under the kick panel? And then you realize that's a fuel cell.
That's funny.
And it's not cheap. I get funny looks at the gas station too, because you open up the trunk and then I've got a yardstick or a meter stick that I drop in the fuel cell to measure the fuel. And they're like, what in the hell are you doing? I need to know how much fuel I'm burning.
That is funny.
But the story, it's a pretty cool story anyways for me. It's lasted through the family. But the build on it, how Dad had it built, he was originally intending on drag racing it.
Okay.
Because back then they didn't think they were just cars, they didn't think
Sure.
they were going to be super valuable, I guess. And he had a Wyand all polished tunnel ram high rise.
Cool.
That I sold a long time ago, and kind of mad I sold it, but I'm kind of glad I didn't use it because I'm glad how I have it. I flattened that purple shaft cam, and so I put a Howard's 288 or 289 488 stage 4 cam in it. This thing, and you can see in whether it's like my TikTok or Facebook and whatnot, I've had a lot of haters on it. And that car I got done on a time frame with very little money and a lot of help from my dad's old friends and my family. And there's a lot of zip ties, a lot of electrical tape. I've went through 4 alternators. There's, the only brand new parts I've put in that thing is a brand new aluminum radiator that I got from Radiator Depot in Omaha, Nebraska. An electrical fan, which are nice. I'll never use a normal fan again. I will always use electric fans. They blow a lot of air, and like a new steering wheel. The steering wheel I got on it now, it's the original Tough wheel that it came with, but I've got zebra print duct tape wrapped all the way around it. I was in a bind and I didn't have black, so I just had to use zebra print at the time, and I never fixed it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, God made me honest, not very bright. So
I feel the same way. For me.
There's a lot of things. Like I said, my whole goal for this car, it's not to restore it. I never want to restore this car. I kind of want to keep it the way it is. It is a survivor car. It's lasted this long, and it's still. You've seen pictures and videos with it where the paint's actually shining. That's still the original paint.
It looks great.
It's before Dad had it, somebody had repainted the engine bay. Okay. And somebody had attempted to repaint the lower rear quarters behind the rear tires. So you will notice in some pictures, you being a Mopar guy, you can tell, obviously, or any body guy, you can tell. But there will be a dull red underneath the back rear quarter, on the lower rear quarters, on both sides. It'll be a dull red. It won't be as shiny, and that's where they tried to do that. But other than that, it's all the original paint. Rally dash, slapstick, the 8 3/4 with the 410 gears that are in it right now. My dad put those in high school. I don't remember what it had before that, but I'm going to keep the 410s in it. Just because it's old school, and down the road, like my fiance and I, we get married this coming June, and we're trying to find our own place right now. I'm in her in-laws' basement because we're living with her parents, and when we get our own place and I kind of get my own little garage or shop, I can kind of keep going on it and do some other things. I'd like to. I want to do the engine bay wiring completely, because obviously you shouldn't be going through alternators like I am constantly. But it's the whole thing. Still, it's a learning curve for me.
Sure.
it's I've had a lot of hate on it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that do appreciate that car because at least here in Iowa, there's not a lot of them. If there is, you don't see them out and about driving. Everybody's kind of scared to get them out. I think it's hilarious because I'll show up in the city, whether it be like Des Moines or Omaha, with it, and of course it's open header, and you're going down the 4 lane or whatever. Nobody wants to get near you. They're just scared to death of getting anywhere close to that car, and it's hilarious. You set off car alarms all the time, and it's a good time. But no, it's just kind of a labor of love. It's a constant progression for me. And, I heard about you guys talking about the Sikeston, Missouri deal, and I'm like, oh my God, that's 5 hours for me. Like this is doable. This is doable.
That sounds like the perfect car to bring to the event.
You know what? Knowing my luck, I'd be the oil down person because that RTV silicone probably won't be fixed. It'll still be on there.
I don't know. I bought a 318 and a 904 for $200.
It's, what, I screwed up too because speaking of a 318, I sold it had been 2 or 3 years ago. I had an 86 D150, just a single cab short box. It was a straight truck, but it wasn't pristine by any means. And it was originally a slant six Nebraska DOT truck, and it had been repainted black. And some guy put a 360 in it, just nothing fancy, just wore out 360 basically. And I drove it 6 hours from where I bought it to back home overnight. I bought it at like midnight and got back at like 6 a.m. with it. Had dry rotted tires, and this I've done a lot of stupid things, but sometimes it's just I'm not a very patient person. I'm very impatient. So and my fiance could tell you that multiple times, that she's had to tell me we'll be at the store, or I'll be like, I need to get this for my car. She's like, no, you don't need it. It's like, okay, fine. But that 360 I had, I blew a head gasket, and I took a picture of it one time. It was blowing out the radiator, and it looked like nitrous purge. I got a picture. I'll have to send that to you. It's pretty funny. But I ended up buying a kid's 318 out of like a 78 LeBaron or something weird like that. He was gonna he had it in like a demolition derby car, and he was like, I'll sell it to you for like $200. And I was like, okay. And of course I took the top end off the 360 because I had a 4-barrel on it, and put the intake on the 318, and screwed up because I forgot 360's externally balanced where 318's internally balanced. And so I put the torque converter on the 318 from the 360, and you drive 60, 65 down the highway, it's like vibrating the whole time. It's like, God, I'm an idiot. So I sold it to some kid for like $1,400. I kind of feel like an ass, but kid wanted it. It was some high school kid. He was like, oh, this thing's awesome. Like, I'll do so much cool stuff with this. And he called me, like, he got an hour down the road, and him and his buddy stopped to get something to eat. He was like, how do you start this thing? I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't even need to pump the pedal. It's just a 318 with like the gas is right there. And I was like, slap the pedal once and turn the key, and he was like, oh yeah, we got it. Fired it up. It worked. I was like, okay. And I wish I would have kept that though, because I still got that 360. I'd like to refresh or, go through that 360 and rebuild it. And because I'm going to keep that. And I've been on this random hunt for a bunch of Mopar motors. There's a guy around here. He's got a 400 and a 413 that he's got for sale. And then there's a guy not too far from me that's got a 273, and I want to buy a 273. That way, when my fiance and I get married, and I'm not afraid of her getting rid of me for bringing home random Mopars out in some guy's random pasture. I got plenty of motors I can stuff in stuff. That's my goal, anyways. I'm making cruise culture apparel guys that I'm representing a lot of their t-shirts. I I've got him designing me like a speed shop logo, even though I don't own a speed shop. And it's always been kind of a dream deal for me. So I was like, do it. And then that way you don't feel like an idiot, something to look forward to. And so it's kind of my goal anyways. But no, like I said, the car's kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta thank my grandma and a lot of my dad's friends that still look over me. And one of the coolest things, my fiance, she got a ride in it. She's only ridden it one time.
Oh, really?
Yep. Last year. And we we live on a gravel road, and so we drove up about 1.5 miles to where there's a fresh, literally perfect half-mile pavement. And I just let her eat and ended up breaking 3 wheel studs.
Jesus.
Yep. Like I said, there's a lot of things that need done to it, but on the outside it looks great. But no, there will be one. Like I said, when we get our own place and I get back, it sits in the machine shed back home where it's safe. And when we get our own place and we got a garage, I can bring it back down here. And
hold on a second, Dylan. I've been seeing this shit. I've been seeing this shit in the chat, and it's been bothering the hell out of me. In all my time streaming on Facebook, I've never seen bullshit like this. And then
you're seeing the same thing I am, right?
I get over onto YouTube, and then I start seeing this shit. Apparently, the wet girls like 70 Challenger RTs, I guess. And I'm trying to block them, and it's not letting me.
It's better than guys, I guess. But.
Oh, it's absolutely better than guys. Now, Dylan, I do have to say, before you bring any Mopar engines home, you need to go buy that cat a bag of food, because that son of a bitch is hungry.
Hear it?
That son of a bitch is hungry, bro.
It's got soft food right now. I feel bad. You guys have probably been driving you nuts.
I've been wanting.
I was trying not to laugh. Just
dude,
gosh. In the background,
I wanted to crack a joke so bad, but I was trying to listen to the story, and I'm just hearing this poor cat in the background. I'm like, that guy's going, hey, dipshit, get off of the computer and feed me.
He's got some food. God, I feel bad. I'm sorry.
Dude, it was hilarious. I was actually watching the chat, and I was like, somebody's got to say something about this cat. He's the star of the show.
Yeah, meanwhile, a dog there, another dog.
That's my little Hellcat now.
I could never do a live stream with my animals in the room. I got 3 bulldogs. It would be a disaster.
It's so funny. Marissa, my fiance, God bless her, she looked at me and she was just like, that cat's gonna make so much noise if you're going live with those guys. And I was like, I got the blanket over. I mean, in the headphones on, like it should. Once again, she's right, like always.
Psych.
That's hilarious. I'm surprised that the wet girl thing got more attention than the cat. I'm gonna change the name of this episode to Hellcat. No, that's a great story, man. I love hearing stories about people that get their. It's usually a dad. Get their dad's Mopar and still have the car. That's really cool.
My dad. It's kind of cool too. My uncle, that 70 Cuda he owned. He sold it to a local guy, and that guy still to this day has it, but it is bad. It's really, really bad. So it's in some guy's basement, not far from back home, just a few miles, and it's toast. And my dad's best friend, he's tried to buy it so bad and try and
really
restore it so we can have it to keep with my red car. And the guy just won't sell it, which I don't blame him. You know, you got a Cuda, you ain't selling that to anybody. But yeah. No, like I said, that story, it's always fun to share. It's not better than anybody else's story ever, but at least in Iowa, you don't see a lot of 70 Challengers. If you do, it's not. There's a TA not too far from here. That's pretty wicked, 344 speed car. And that's pretty cool. And there's a couple others, but it's really sparse and you don't see them out and about. So
That's crazy. I got friends up in Iowa, and I always hear about these farmers having nice collections of Mopars that they won't let go of, and I'm like, God.
Yeah,
There's a dude in Kenosha that has a 69 Daytona just rotting in his backyard.
Shit.
Yeah,
man.
And see, a lot of these things you see on YouTube and online and whatnot, you're seeing a lot of, not a ton of Midwest states, because a lot of the farmers and stuff in the Midwest, they don't talk about it. You know?
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, off the top of my head, I can name 10, 11, 12 places that I know of that there's still, you know, there's a I think it's a 70 orange Roadrunner sitting in some guy's pasture that cattle have been rubbed up against all the time. It's still there. There's a 74. There's a 74 gold Duster with slant six, some 8. He's got to be 90 now. That my dad knew him, and he's a farmer. He always came into my dad's tractor implement that my dad worked at. He's got that, and then his son's got a GTX, or it's a satellite with a fiberglass front end and a 440 under it. And
Sweet.
They're just sitting behind the barn, just sitting there. They won't sell it to nobody. There's a bunch of them. There's literally, the craziest one I seen was a pink 72 or 3 CUDA with I don't remember what motor it had. There was a I'm not even kidding. The front radiator mount had a chain around it, and it was chained to a tree out in the front yard. Somebody was afraid it was going to go somewhere.
I mean,
so, which I don't blame them.
Yeah. No shit.
There's at least in Iowa, they're around, but you got to know where to look.
It's like Wisconsin too. I mean, there's like, I'll be driving up to like Eagle River to go see my buddy up there, which is like 5 hours away, and any little, like, it can be like a fender, a headlight, or something. You look and it's like, oh, it's a Super B, or oh, it's a Duster, or it's this, it's that, and they're just sitting in the backyards or on the sides of houses.
It's almost like the owners like want you to see a little bit of the car. You know what I mean? Because I've seen some where I'm like, they could have totally hidden that better. You know, they're just waiting for some asshole like me to come along with a camera and take pictures of it.
No, there's one of the neater ones I seen. It was in this person's barn in western Iowa. I was up there with a friend. He was like, "Hey, my parents were renting this house or whatever, and in the barn, we went just messing around in the barn. There was a car cover on something. Went back there. It was a 69 Charger.
Really?
And I don't remember if the motor in it was in it or not or whatever, but you could tell the farmer didn't. You know, I was like, probably shouldn't be in here, but we're going to look anyways. And that was one of the cooler ones I'd seen, but there's just my whole goal is kind of odd, obviously. But I want a couple of the different, you know, like a 64 5 Barracuda with,
cool.
You know, like example, that 273 with like just an EFI 2 barrel I want to do. And, you know, I want a little muscle truck, but, you know, nothing. I've got my big block. I shouldn't say I don't need another big block, because that's the wrong way to talk about it. But there's just a bunch of different things I want to do that are kind of odd. And I've got my matching numbers car, and I don't have to worry about looking for another one, because there's no way in heck I'm ever going to afford another one. But
that's crazy, man. You know, the difference between a guy like you and a guy like Johnny Mopar is Johnny's got all these Chargers, and you will never hear Johnny go, you know, I kind of want a 64 Barracuda with a 273.
I like to, you know, I like to be different, and, you know, everything I'm going to have, I want to get to the point one day, like right now, my truck that my fiance drives all the time, just a 2013 Ram. I want to get to the point once that's paid off. All of my vehicles that I own, I don't want anything over 99. I want anything, I want to be able to work on stuff and not have to deal with electronic stuff unless it's like a Holly EFI deal or something like that. I drive an hour, 10 minutes to work where I work. And, I want to get to the point where no matter what, you're going to have to pay gas, whether it's $1.89, which I don't know if we'll ever get back to, or, 3.23. One way or another, you're going to have to pay for it. And I want to do it where I'm at least enjoying it. And if I can do it in something like a 64 Barracuda with a 273, I'm going to do it. But so there's just a bunch of things I want to do and that are different from a lot of people's views, but it's always going to be Mopar oriented. I'm not going to ever change that. Man. So
I always like the guys that, stray away from the pack and do their own thing. That's good. That's not like I know that it seems like vans are coming back a little bit, but I know that a lot of people they've asked me like, what is it with you and vans? And I keep having to explain myself. It's like, I like boogie vans. I'm sorry. Shit. What do you want from me?
Could be like the Kyle Rittenhouse and Kenosha where he's like 4 doors, more horrors, but vans don't have 4 doors, so you're gonna have to make something up.
Dude, I
some
can't
of them have barn doors.
when I saw that in the trial, because I watched the trial, because I thought, and they said his name on there, I was dying laughing. Anytime you hear a lawyer have to be serious, like, is your Twitter handle or what was it, Snapchat or something? He's like, was it 4 doors for more whores?
He's straight faced.
Oh, TikTok, that's right. Dude, he did. I would have been like, hell yeah, follow me. What's up?
That kid's a hero.
I can't, because this is my channel, I cannot make a comment, but I am pretty pleased with the outcome of that trial.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing, and I'm trying to. I hate talking. I do not talk about politics because it drives me nuts, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on. With anybody, like I always try to be the most humble person, but it comes to a point. It's like I can't do it. Like I've had to deal with so many people, even if they're my friend. I've had to deal with because I just can't. I can't.
I mean, I've had friends try
cars or something else. I don't want anything to do with it.
I mean, I've had friends try and talk politics to me, and I'm like, nope, don't even do it.
Out.
Out. No.
It's the one topic that can like it's worse than like a Chevy versus a Mopar or a Ford versus a Mopar chat. Like
LF and a Mopar. What?
Like it's like God. that can be like a fun like back and forth, talk shit session. But when you get into politics, man, the knives and guns and brass knuckles come out. It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
it's funny. Speaking of brass
depends,
knuckles,
though.
Speaking
it
of brass
depends
knuckles,
on what. I mean, certain topics like that too, like hard like Mopar purists and whatnot. Like I had a guy yell at me for throwing a lift off Hemi hood scoop on my Duster, and he's like, "That's not period correct. That's stupid."
Yeah, you get those guys, but
it's like, really, dude. I was like, it's a 6-cylinder car originally. I was like, it's not that valuable.
I see. I like those guys because they're entertaining to me. Because I'm like, God, you're getting offended. It's what somebody else is doing with their car. You know what I mean? That's why I got so excited when I opened one of my Christmas presents for my wife, and it was I tried being a little bit of a troll, and I put this fake Lamborghini wing on my Amazon list, and she bought it for me because she's like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "It's for the van," and she's not the biggest fan. I'll say that. But she's like, I'm not buying you this. And then she got it for me. And I was like, oh, you're trying to troll me back. I'm going to put this on the damn van. Because I don't give a damn what people think about me. So
I saw that. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like I said it before, like with boogie vans, there really are no set rules. So it's all in good fun,
It was funny. It was funny you brought up brass knuckles there a second ago because when I took my red Challenger down to Kansas when I went to college down there, I didn't have I couldn't take my gun or my handgun with me. I couldn't. And so I was like, I don't have anything like my jack bar. I got my jack in the trunk, but
that'll do some damage.
No joke. My uncle, one of my dad's younger brothers, opened his lockbox, and there lies, no joke, a set of brass knuckles, and I'm like, yes, and took them with me. So
I mean, I keep
it was
a
so
I
funny.
keep
There's
a metal
couple
bat
times
in
we
my
were cruising
truck and a metal bat in the duster.
There's a couple times we'd be driving down the strip in Ark City, Kansas, when and I'd put them on my left hand with my hand out the window, just like don't even try it.
I have to say though, when you were talking about driving that car to college and you had to sleep it and stuff, I was like, man, he's a lot, tamer of a guy than me. I would have been like, I got a 70 Challenger. I'm gonna get some girls with this thing.
So
I'd be going to every bar like, what's up, ladies?
The wild thing about that was I showed up in town. I left a day before a day before you could get into the dorms, because I don't like being late for anything, and I didn't know what problems I was going to run into driving that far in that thing. And so I made multiple stops, obviously for fuel and just checking everything over multiple times. And there's actually one stop I made that probably the craziest thing in my entire life happened, and it blows my mind. My dad's best friend that owns this car dealership, he's a big Mopar collector. And he's got a picture, and my dad had one too. Him and my dad went to the Mopar Nationals in 1990 and 1991. In 1990, I think they took his 70 Hemi Cuda. And then 91, they took an A12 car, I believe. And anyways, there's a picture of this. It was the 90 Nationals of my dad's best friend and my dad sitting in the Hemi Cuda. It's like the annual, they take a picture of you guys in your car, whatever. I'm driving down to Kansas, and I don't remember what town it was. I remember kind of where it's by. It was somewhere near Garnett, Kansas. And I stop, or I kind of slow down. I'm coming around, and I see this little shop, and there is a 68 Dart sitting out there, and I'm like, whoa, Mopar. My reaction, I'm going to whip her around because I'm driving one, and I'm going to pull in there and meet this guy just to look at it. I pull up in this lot, and this guy's got Mopars everywhere, and I'm like, whoa. And he's working on another Dart in there, and introduce ourselves or whatever, and he just kind of shows me around his shop, and he said his website was the Mopar Dude or the MoparGuy.com. And anyways, he's walking me around, and we go into his like garage / showroom where him and his wife's vehicles are. He had a little Red Express, a Plum Crazy Purple Cuda, I think, a couple others. And he has this little lounge area. And in this lounge area, he's got photo albums of different events him and his wife have been to. And I open up one that says 90 Mopar Nationals. I'm like, cool. My dad and my dad's best friend were in there. No joke. Swear on my dad's headstone, there is the picture of my dad and my dad's best friend in that 70 white Cuda. And I'm in the middle of Kansas on the way to college in dad's car. And I'm like, who in the world are you? And how do you have this picture?
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
He was either a guy that took it. It wasn't the same picture, but it was a picture of dad and my dad's best friend in that Cuda. I'm like, and he looked at me and was like, are you serious? I was like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm dead serious. That is my dad.
That's crazy.
And
that's wild.
Craziest thing in the world. And nicest guy in the world. He was like, if you have any problems getting down there, he was like, call me. I'll bring my truck and trailer. I'll load you up. I'll either take you down there or I'll take you back to Iowa. I'm like, perfect, cool. And I get down there finally that evening, and I meet a couple people, obviously, because 6 hours away, and you're driving something like that with license plates that are not anywhere from around there. And a couple people notice me, and they pull up next to me. They're like, hey, pull over into this. And I'm like, I'm going to get shot. Somebody's going to steal my car. I'm more worried about somebody stealing the car than me getting shot. And I ended up meeting a bunch of cool people in this town. It was a big car town. A bunch of kids my age that didn't have Mopars, but they had a bunch of other stuff, hot rods, and they every night they were cruising the strip. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And I aligned myself with those people, and they told me that very night we were sitting in a car wash parking lot. I was like, is there a place I can sit? Where's the police station? I'll just sit in front of the police station. They're like, go up to Walmart, park under the like parking lot light, and cops are up there all the time. You'll be fine. I'm like, that's sketchy. I don't know if I'd say I got sleep, but I attempted it. And of course, and those seats, they don't recline. They only lean forward. So I'm there with my legs, I'm 6'3", and my legs are basically on the dash while my head's up against the back seat pad. And most uncomfortable thing in the world. But no, I've had a lot of fun in that car.
Sounds like it.
What needs to change on it, I've still got just a cast iron 4-hole dual plane intake off a 68 Cornet.
Oh, really?
That is junk. Why I haven't put an aluminum dual plane on it, I have no idea. It's just really loud, but it's slow right now. I don't know why. There's a lot of things that I need to go through on it to honestly make it what it needs to be, but I'm just having fun with it right now. I'm not sitting on it in a shop or anything. I go out and drive it, and
there you go.
Probably abuse it a little bit more than it needs to be with broken wheel studs and factory front suspension and bottomed out air shocks.
Hey, go check on that cat. I don't hear it. Is it still alive?
I moved clear across. I moved clear across the room.
Oh, that's funny.
I felt so bad.
Oh, no, it's all good, man.
The whole entire show.
I thought it was hilarious. What I do want to explain to people, because I'm sure sometimes I forget that some people are listening to this, right? They're not watching the live. We were talking about wet girls. So in the chat, there's some spam, okay? Like somebody's
don't click on it.
Yeah, definitely don't click on it. Yeah, some if
you do, let us know what happens.
Yeah. Some bot was messaging some dirty stuff, which I thought was pretty funny. And then I was like, oh my God, how many times are they going to comment in here? I was like, oh no. But it's pretty funny. Joe says that it's the Mopar dude in Burlington, Kansas. That's cool. The name sounded familiar,
yes,
but I wasn't sure. Him. Okay.
That is him. Yep. Burlington, Kansas. Okay. That is him. Yeah, it was the craziest thing. I was just coming around this curve, and there was a 68 Dart sitting outside. I was like, I'm going to loop it around quick, pull in there. Nicest guy in the world. And it was just the weirdest thing. And I was welding. I was arc welding on a project down in Kansas, literally about 25 miles from him 2 years ago. And I was like, hey, that's not very far. I wonder if that guy's still in business or still around or whatever. And I got on the website and I called him. He was like, yeah, I'm selling most all of my stuff. And I was like, ah, crap. Because I wanted to make it over there and, re-meet him or re-talk to him again. But no, it was just one of the craziest things I've ever been through in my life. And I was super proud. I got to, meet that guy, and freaked me out. Still freaks me out seeing that picture in his photo.
Yeah, that had to have been crazy. I would have done the same thing though if I would have drove by a place and I saw a bunch of Mopars. I do that now. I see Mopars, turn around.
It drives my fiance crazy. We'll be driving somewhere. It's like, I gotta stop, and she's like, oh my God, just go.
My wife doesn't even bat an eye if I'm like, oh, and I turn around. She'll be like, oh, you saw that, huh? I'm like, yeah, of course I did. I know there's been a couple times I've turned around or stopped, and she doesn't even bother asking, or she already knows. She sees what I see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my girlfriend, if I see something in like the farm or something else, she's like, nope, just keep driving. Don't even stop.
Keep it up.
I know you want to, just don't.
Those are the girls where you have to go, how long do you want this relationship to last? Because I'm stopping. So.
I mean, she deals with me in the Duster and whatnot, and she actually convinced me to get that car.
Really? Well,
Because
there you go.
She was like, "Hey, it's your dream car. Like, you wanted a 72 for the longest time. Like, you have like the opportunity to do this. Like, I think you should do it." And that was like, because I mean, you probably remember I had that 65 Rambler station wagon.
Yeah.
And then I had my motorcycle too, and she was like, "I don't like you on the motorcycle because you do stupid stuff," which was true. And then the station wagon, I mean, that's how pretty much me and her met. And she was like, "I know there's a lot of like memories with it and everything else, but like, this one's your dream car. Like, you got to go after it." So
Yeah.
I got to thank her for that.
For the longest time, my wife wanted nothing to do with a boogie van. For the longest time, I still think deep down she's just given in. She still hates it, but I've got. Oh, check this out. So my daughter's 2.5, right? And I came home. I think it was yesterday, and I opened the door from the inside of my garage. It goes into my kitchen, and my daughter was there, and I had the door open, and she came out, and she was looking at the van. I said, "Hey, Daddy's boogie van." And she goes, "Daddy's poopy van." And I was like, well, my wife got a kick out of that one. I was like, "You little turd." I said, "Boogie." She said, "Poopy." I said, all right, well, looks like I have another boogie van fan in the family. My wife got a kick out of it.
I just now clicked on the chats deal, and I'm just about to die. I'm rolling out laughing.
Yeah, let's actually I the one thing I still have not perfected yet with these lives is when I go live and I start talking to people that are on screen or whatever, I am reading the chat and I have a hard time like stopping somebody from talking and acknowledging the people in the chat. So if you're ever watching this and you're in the chat saying something, chances are I'm seeing it. I'm waiting for an appropriate time to acknowledge you, but I see it all. So let me just go through it real quick. Ian,
Whoever that Joe 66 is needs to message me.
Joe, do you hear that? Hey, I saw your message that you're recovering from COVID, or you're sitting there with COVID, man. Hey, I hope you get better. There's the
Oh
okay.
my gosh, it just blew
What
up.
in the hell is it? Somebody's trolling me. This is not a bot. Somebody's trolling me right now. Here we go again. Loveface.xyz. Online strips without clothing. Hey, no shit. You said strips. This is hilarious. Man. Okay. All right. Man. I've never seen this before in another YouTube channel. I think I'm screwed now. I think
Somebody click on that and see what happens.
it won't be me. As a matter of fact, the first time I tried blocking him, it was like giving me an error message. I'm gonna try blocking him again. They just keep coming back.
That's it right there.
Yeah. I said only vans, not only fans.
Oh.
Did I post that publicly, like on my Talking Mopars, or is that just on my personal page? My OnlyVans sweatshirt. Oh, yeah, I'm actually gonna.
I need to get one of those. One of your shirts.
Yeah, you can find them on TalkingMopars.com in the merch section.
Oh yeah.
But I'm definitely gonna produce the OnlyVans shirts. I just wanted to see if the design would work, and it worked. So I'm gonna get it. Hopefully, I don't get sued. I think they changed their logo. Not that I would know, but I'm gonna
Telling your wife.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it posted without getting sued.
That Doug from Illinois, he's got that panel wagon, or that Dodge panel wagon. Dude, that thing's sweet. Have you seen what he did with it?
No.
That thing is on a Dakota RT chassis.
Really?
Oh yeah. And he's the one he's got with it. I don't know what years exactly they are. You'd have to message him. That dude's hilarious. But the other one's on another Dakota RT chassis, and that thing, it's got like alter mud terrain tire or whatever. Whatever. The dude's, he's got some crazy ideas, but he's hilarious. He's a big Dodge guy. But that wagon, that thing's sweet. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now, and
I'll have to check that out.
Dude, that thing is his TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. They're funny. That dude's, and he's pretty good at. He was doing the floor work on the other one that he's working on, mounting the floor.
Yeah.
But that guy's pretty cool.
not trying to cut you guys off. It is like 1:20 in the morning here in Wisconsin. I am the hell out of here.
Logan, thanks for joining us again. We'll see you next
See
time,
ya.
buddy.
All right, man. See you guys later.
Later, bud. And then there were two. For anybody that is in the chat, I did post the link. So if you want to jump on, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. Usually I try to keep it pretty short. I'm not like Ruben and Brian going for 8-9 hours. Those guys are
You don't want to
insane.
do the 8 hours?
You know, if the conversation
The rookie
was
numbers, I gotta pump those numbers up.
Yeah, you gotta pump those numbers up. That's hilarious. Yeah, my hat's off to those guys, and they keep it going, man. I almost want to try to do a marathon someday and just see how long I could go before I had to tap out. That would be kind of fun.
I always get nervous every time you guys go on, or every time you guys go on. I'm sitting there like the one episode I commented. I'm sitting there at work because I get off at 10:30. Of course, I had to message Monroe today, and I was like, I want to ask him what time because I'm always afraid to ask because he's on coastal time and I'm on central time. I don't want to feel like an idiot. He was like, "Oh, don't ever feel like an idiot." Oh.
That's funny.
And it happened again.
David Wayne says, blessings to you. Thanks, man. I'm sure he's talking about my mom. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that, buddy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the one guarantee in life is that we don't make it out of this thing alive.
Nope.
No. It's just it really is too bad. It did hit home, obviously, but it's just one of those things where like I was really bummed out and I was like I really don't feel like podcasting this week. And after I posted the thing about hey, I'm taking a week off, it really hit me in the gut because I was like I know my mom would get pissed off knowing that I did that. I know she'd be like, hey, just shut up and do the podcast, So I decided to do this one, and then tomorrow will be another live. So hopefully I'll be caught back up. And then
Heck yes.
Yeah, I just sometimes with tragedies like that, it's like you lose sight of something that gives you that peace. You know what I mean? And this takes my mind off of that. So I do again. I appreciate everybody who's reached out and sent their condolences to me. Tales from the Junkyard. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Ian?
I don't know if you knew that, but that Joe right there, the whole reason this is going to be the first time I've ever admitted this, and it's going to sound stupid. But the reason I went to college in Ark City, Kansas was because at the time Street Outlaws was super hot. Of course, me being a Mopar guy, who's my favorite guy, Dominator, that's his hometown is Ark City, Kansas.
Okay.
And I was like, they have a car cruise there every year. It's called The Last Run. And he shows up there every year. And I was like, maybe I'll get to meet him. And did more research and realized it's a big car town. But that's the reason I went down there, because I just basically threw a dart at a map and I was like, I'm going to go to college there, see if there's a college around there. And gosh.
That's crazy. Actually, I'm trying to get Dominator on this podcast, actually.
He's the coolest dude.
He is super cool.
Oh
Before I had the podcast, I don't know if I've told this story. Before I had the podcast, he reached out to me when I was doing the Mopar Hunter thing, and he was looking for a Hemi for, I think he's got a Coronet, and he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, this is Joe, also known as Dominator from Street Outlaws," and I was like, "I know who the hell you are, dude." Like, come on, man. I'm like, "What do you need from me?" I'm like, "I don't know if I can help you," but he was looking for a Hemi, and unfortunately, I really couldn't help him. I was like, are you looking for, an original one? Because you're looking at 25-30 grand on eBay. It's probably your best bet.
At least he's got a Hemi in his car now. That's a plus.
The Dart, yeah. I got to see it in action at the last Muscle Cars at the Strip. It was a lot of fun. I remember being there. It was super late. Everybody had started to leave. And I think Johnny Mopar had left, and I was just up in the stands. And here comes Dominator. And I was like, I think I have a video. If you go back on some of my videos, you can see the live that I recorded from the bleachers when he went up there and did a run. But he's supposed to be, I think he's going to be back again at Matt's. So if you don't quote me on this. I don't know for a fact yet, but I'm pretty sure Dominator is going to be at Muscle Cars at the Strip if you want to see his car in action in person. It was pretty cool. Ian says, damn, sorry, man. I recently lost my dad who got me into Mopars and understand all too well. Yeah, man, it's tough. I'm sorry about your loss, dude. Braden, what's up? Sean says, Chris, have you ever been to Minnesota? No, I have not.
Yeah, I know you were talking on one of the last podcasts. You were talking about leaving the West Coast and going somewhere south or whatever. And
Texas.
Midwest is where it's at.
I have to go south. I need a place where the automotive events are going around almost year round. I need that, and I need to be central. And I like Texas. I like Texas a lot.
Texas is a good place. Texas definitely a good place.
From what I've experienced and from the people I know, and I look at a lot of the metrics on the podcast, and I have the largest. My largest numbers come from Texas. So apparently people in Texas like the show. So that's cool.
This is the one good thing, you know, when I came across it, when I came across your show, I was kind of looking at the following. It's like, man, it's not a very big following. But then I realized, I was like, there's not a lot of Mopar people that's really just doing something like this. And then I started listening, and I was like, this has got to grow. This is
appreciate
the deal
that
right here.
Yeah, it's I've thought about it before because I am a car guy. You know, I could talk about other cars, and actually, I am developing a podcast for somebody else that I may be hosting, and it's going to be about all cars. So I don't. That's kind of in the development stages right now. This is Talking Mopars isn't going anywhere, but I'm always looking to other opportunities. So I always thought if I had just started a podcast about cars in general, how much bigger it could potentially be. But I like talking about Mopars most. So
I feel like I ruined this one with my little Hellcat back there.
No, it's all good, man. I would have booted your ass if that was the case. I'm kidding. Tales from the Junkyard. Chris, if you haven't seen my video yet, we had to let go of my dad's sweet 74 Satellite that we rest on my... I have not seen that. I will check that out. I tell all my YouTube friends, I am horrible about watching all my friends' videos, and I need to just sit down for like 24 hours and just go through everybody's stuff because I feel bad. I catch one every now and again, or I'll listen to them when I'm doing something else. But there's a lot of good content out there on YouTube.
The one guy I just found out about, there's two guys on YouTube. They're engine builders. The one I seen was a Terry Brighton, and another one, I can't remember the channel name, but the guy, it's like Renee's Country Auto or whatever, and he builds Mopar motors, and oh my gosh, they are good. I mean, they're good quality videos, and I watch them all the time. I tried messaging Derek from Vice Grip because see if he's got any plans for that dart that he did, that little 64 dart. I want that thing. That thing's awesome.
Tales from the Junkyard. The No Name National sounds like it's going to be awesome. Yes, it does. I'm going to do my best to promote the event. I would like to see a lot of the listeners of my show up. Like I said earlier, I really like this crossover between Facebook and YouTube. This is going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm really excited to kind of bring both of these communities together. Because it seems like it's like there's people like me that are like on Facebook, and then there's people that are on YouTube that don't have Facebook following. So it's like I'm the opposite. So now I'm trying to, if you're listening to this or you're watching this on Facebook or you're just listening to the podcast, definitely go check out some of my friends on YouTube. They got some good stuff going on. Jeff, what's up, buddy? I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, what's up? Tales from the Junkyard. He's going to try to be at the No Name Nationals. I hope you can make it. It sounds like he's not sure if he's going to make it or not. Scott, my buddy from east of the mountains. What's up, buddy? Bad Tree Blake, what's up? Jay, what's up? These guys are probably all gone. Alex says he missed me. Thank you, dude. I missed being here. That's for sure. Sean says, what wheels should I buy for my 78 Valari Roadrunner? Keystones, Magnum 500s? That's tough. I'm such a Krager guy. But Keystones on the right car. See, like, Keystones are the wheel that I see on some, and I'm like, oh, that'd look way better with Kragers. You know?
Yeah.
I'm always going to be the Krager guy.
Kragers for me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They've commented on some stuff of mine that I've posted before, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with you guys. You guys got it. Like, it's such a hard wheel to beat. How do you beat a Krager?
They're just so timeless. And you know what? I know people are like, oh, they're played out. Okay, you're gonna find me a set of wheels that nobody else has. I'm gonna pick the ones that I think look best. Yeah. And I'm a Krager guy. That's all there is to it. Now Keystones are great wheels. Magnum 500s, great wheels. I love the Chrysler Rallies. I love the Steels or the Steelies with the poverty caps. I'm pretty eclectic when it comes to wheels, but Kragers will always have a special place in my heart. In fact,
the Valari with the black steels and the center caps, that's a good
cool.
look.
Yeah,
that's a good look. Cool. You look on Google. I look on Google all the time, and those Valaris just with the black wheels, and you put BFGs on it, and it's a good look. Maybe get
a set of widened Steelies in the back, or do staggered for sure. Those Valaris look great when they're staggered. I've seen them like kind of that street, nice little rake. I think they look really good.
I could have had one back in like 2006, 16, 15 or 16 for like $1,500, but I was like, oh, I don't know anything on it.
You know, truthfully, there was a period of time. I remember back when I was 19, I was working for this construction company, and we did all sorts of stuff. It was a general contractor, and we were doing this drainage project. And in the backyard, there was a Valari Roadrunner, and I didn't like. I regret it to this day, and I wish I could remember where it was. It was, if I remember right, it was black with like orange graphics. And it was just sitting in the backyard, completely stock.
Or was that the Aspen RT?
I think it was a Roadrunner, because I remember. Yeah, because at the time I didn't know very much about Valaris, and I looked at it and I was like, "That ain't no fucking Roadrunner." And this was a long time ago. And after I left, I was like, "That was kind of cool," because if I remember right, I thought it had T-top. It might have. It had to have been a Roadrunner, because I remember going, "That ain't a Roadrunner." But I tried to remember where that car was. I can't.
Like the orange ones, it's the Valari body it's got the Roadrunner graphics on it and whatnot. I know somebody that's got one, but
there was one for sale at a little. I call it an estate sale, but it was pretty. It was pretty private, and it had a giant dent in the side of it, but it was pretty complete. And I wish I had taken that car a little bit more seriously. The lady wanted $1,200. I think she would have taken $800 or $900. But
that's the one thing that I'm noticing, and like I'm on Marketplace every day. Just look, even though I don't have money for anything, I still look, and I see some of these, and obviously most people are like arm and a leg for stuff that's not an arm and a leg for. But some of them, you really look, and there's a lot of them. If I just would have had, like $1,000 just to blow, like, and every time you look, it's like, oh, it's not worth it. That's too much work. And then when you get them and you realize nobody else has got something like this or not anywhere near me, it's like, there's so many times I could have pulled the trigger and I should have. I every time almost.
It's funny. Every year I tell myself I need to save up a few grand and just have it just for when I run across these cars. And I always end up spending the money, or I go, I don't have room for it, so there's no point in having the cash. I might as well spend it on stuff I have. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what a savings account is anymore.
I need to go to Texas. Damn it. I need to be in Texas and get some property. That's what I need to do. I think it's on the way. Ian says, I wonder if the pink AAR Pro Street car from Poplar Bluff will make an appearance at Sykeston. I don't know. I hope everybody shows up. I hope there's so many people that we can't fit them all. I'm talking about the wheels. Back to Sean.
Mags, yes.
Back to Sean's question about the wheels for his Roadrunner, his Volare. Definitely slotted mags. You can't.
Love slotted mags.
God, they're so cool. There's so many. You know what? I want multiple sets of wheels, but every time I look at the Mr. Norm truck, it always pisses me off because I always wanted to just put Krager's on it, and I like the wheels that are on it. I got the Torque Thrust D's on it, but I'm a Krager guy, so every time I see them, I'm like, God, I was supposed to have Krager's, but they were back ordered. I wonder if they're off of back order now. I'm not sure.
I was looking at my Summit book the other day, my Summit catalog, and I was just looking at the wheels they had in them, and it's like, there's so many options right now that would look good on this or that or this or that. It's like, gosh. And on your truck, it don't matter what it is. There's a lot of wheels you can pull off on that thing. That's going to look sick.
No, absolutely. Jimmy Shine says, any of y'all in here on 4A bodies only? I'm a lurker on 4A bodies only when I need to see something like I'll look up mini tub dart or something like that, and for A bodies only is always my go-to. Going back to the conversation we were having with John earlier about trolls, yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of Uncle Tony's troll.
Did you see the deal when Freiberger and not Finnegan, but Freiberger and Dulcich did that whole deal on Uncle Tony? Did you see that?
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah,
I don't know what to think about that.
I thought it was. My friends and I, some of us thought it might have been contrived, but I don't know. I think there may be a little disdain there.
Yeah.
I have no loyalties to any of those guys.
They all have sweet stuff, and they're all smarter than crap.
I enjoy their content, and I can't.
Exactly.
I'm not the guy to pick sides. I hate it when I see that. You get the teams, and they're like, oh, Uncle Tony sucks or Freiberger sucks. You know what I mean? I have my opinions on all of them. I don't think any of them are necessarily bad guys. I enjoy their content. I would like to meet them all. And that's when you really know who somebody is, when you shake their hand, you talk to them in person. On TV, it's one thing. We were talking about that earlier when I was saying, I like authenticity, and if I meet you in person, I can usually tell if you're full of shit, like if you're not the person that I was watching on YouTube. You know what I mean? And I've heard some things about some of the guys, maybe not the ones we were talking about specifically, but people, of more name recognition, I guess you could say, that are dicks in real life, and that's super disappointing. So
it spoils it for everything.
Yeah, it definitely does. Blake says, just say you want to lower your truck, you'll catch a troll. Yeah, I've caught plenty of trolls. I mean, I have caught trolls, but I don't think I've ever got one that's like super dedicated. Joe says, glad to see you on YouTube, Chris. I'm trying, man. I'm so far behind. This is episode number 118 of the podcast, and I think I have episode 120 or 24 on YouTube. So I've got a lot of uploading to do, but every time I upload, I get a copyright claim on my music that I own a license to. It's really pissing me off. But I fight it every day, and everybody tells me about this YouTube algorithm. I'm really fighting it right now because with the podcast, unless it's something like this, just posting the audio with like a static picture and a waveform isn't enough for YouTube. I can already say that. So I'm hoping that the old episodes will just get people, to listen to a couple of those and hopefully become listeners to the show. But this is the kind of stuff that I'd like to keep doing on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. Rapid transit, A-bodies are climbing quickly. Yeah, man, it's insane. I can't believe how crazy they're getting. I enjoy it. I'm happy for everybody with an A-body. I'm sad for me because I got rid of my A-body and now I want another one again. It's just one of those things. John Wilburn commenting on the no burnouts in the rental car. Yeah, some people. I know that some people. It's funny because in their description of the car, they're like, "Oh, X amount of horsepower, badass muscle car, blah blah blah," and then they're like, "No burnouts, no speeding, shit like that." It's like, get out of here.
It's almost like all those U-Haul videos that you see on the internet. All these guys renting U-Hauls or U-Haul Chevy trucks for like $20, and they're just doing donuts in the middle of an intersection.
I do have a very good protection plan every time I rent one of those cars because you never know what's going to happen if you don't read the fine print. Like, any damage you're responsible for if you opt out. But I always, at minimum, I get the best protection that you can because then it's no money out of your pocket. And it's like if something bad happens to you, it's like, oops, sorry. But that's a headache I don't want. You know what I mean? Yeah, talking again about the No Name Nationals. God, I can't explain how excited I am for that event, and I hope there's people that watch this and then watch tomorrow's show and watch everybody on YouTube's content that's actually going to be going to the No Name Nationals and gets motivated and hopefully inspired to start their own channel. That'd be cool.
That's something I've always, that was always a goal because I always wanted. Even if it's just my red car and not a bunch of project cars, but just doing a bunch of random stuff, I just never had the know-how, and I kind of fell into that little trap. It's like everybody else is doing it to where like, oh, they're gonna get the views, and I'm just gonna be one of the little guys. And so I just started focusing on. I was like, well, I'll just make my own brand for like just T-shirts or apparels or hat or something like that. And it's like, what am I doing? Whether it's just a El Cheapo camera or something like that. Like I need to actually take the initiative and do it. You see a lot of guys, they just do it while they're driving down the road.
Oh, dude,
and
I do videos like that. You know what I mean?
I got an hour, 10-minute drive to and from work every single day. It's like I got plenty of time to do it.
Yeah.
I just need to take the initiative to do it.
You know what your first video should be? It should just be you in or around the Challenger, just telling the story. Put that on YouTube with the right amount of keywords. Everybody likes a good Mopar story. At least I do.
And not the Hellcat in the background.
The Hellcat in the background. No, make him part of the show. That's Hellcat. He never shuts up.
my fiance's mom, she was just like, well, we'll just keep it in the basement, and you guys can be the primary take care of it. And Marissa's like, Mom, this is your cat, not our cat, your cat. She's just like, we can't have it on the main floor with all the dogs. And it's like, we'll take care of it. So I named it. And it's like, what did I get myself into? You give any animal a name, it's the safest animal in the world.
Yeah.
So, gosh.
Mike Coffey made an appearance. What's up, dude? I don't know if you're still around, but if you are, what's up? Hopefully see you in Vegas in March. Ian says, let's be honest, 32-gallon fuel tank sounds great, to be honest.
It's so funny because that came out of my race car, too.
That's funny. What's the deal with your race car? What was that all about?
So it was after Dad died in 2014. 2014, after he died, I went back racing go-karts, dirt track go-karts. Raced those for a while, and then I traded my go-kart and everything I owned with it for an IMCA hobby stock. Now it was a 79 Monte Carlo body.
Okay.
I had my engine builder that built my dad's my motor in the red car. His son, he built my motor for my hobby stock. They're wicked motor builders. They're really good for just a small town father-son. Done it for years. He's very talented. And he built my hobby stock motor, and I went racing for that. I only raced 3 races in 2015. And there's some funny videos on YouTube, me racing that thing. I'll have to send you sometime down the road. I finished in reverse in one of them with no right side of my car on.
See, this is the kind of shit that you talk about on YouTube. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
There's a bunch of stories, but I got rid of that, and then I bought a 90 Mustang LX convertible.
Okay. Get out. Get out. This is Talking Mopars. Get out. No, I'm kidding.
Just to drive, and
okay.
I bought it the only reason I bought it is because it had slicks on it and skinnies on the front. And
Okay.
it was a salvage title, and it had a really healthy 5.0 with MagnaFlow all the way back. And I traded the skinnies, and it had center lines on it with skinnies and slicks, and I traded those for a set of like the cheap Weld Pro Stars. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What brand they were, but the El Cheapo ones with Pirelli P4 tires on it. Drove that for a while, and then that's when I decided I was like, I need to do something for the red car. And then 2016 is when I got the red car done. It only took me, I think, like 3.5, 4 months. And what I spent maybe $4,000 total. And then the wheels and tires, they were gifted to me, thanks to my dad's best friend. And of course, none of it would have been possible if it wasn't for who I call Pop, Dave, who owns the shop. He's my father figure now, and he's always done a world of good for me on that car. And but yeah, there's a lot of stories I could tell you. Like I said, God made me honest, not very bright.
Hey, that's perfect. That is a perfect slogan for your new YouTube channel. I love it.
Yeah,
that's great. You sell some shirts and shit. Ian's right. We do need to see pictures of your tough wheel.
Yeah, I got them all. I think you've seen a couple of them. I think maybe I haven't sent them to you.
I think I would have remembered the tough wheel with the zebra tape.
Yeah, it's still. I covered my fiance. God bless her. I love her to death, but she was just like, "Get that damn steering wheel off now." She's like, "I'm not riding in it with that on." I'm like, well, I'm keeping the steering wheel because I want to get it redone or remade because it's the original tough wheel. And those things are awesome.
Hell
and I just bought one from O'Reilly's or whatever now just to put on it. So
Ian says gear vendors, new wiring, good brakes, and it's a driver. Talking about your Challenger.
Yeah,
Nico.
It needs it, all of it.
Nico says, damn, I wasn't on soon enough. Nico, you're more than welcome anytime I go live if you see. Definitely jump on the show. Nico deals with cars a lot. He's a buyer, seller. It's always interesting to see what he comes up with. Joe, are the wet girls still around? I knew as soon as you're telling the story and I see that shit pop up and I'm like, oh God, no. And like I'm trying to like engage with your story and I'm seeing this just bomb happening in the comments. I'm like, oh
there's
God,
a cat
no.
in the background meowing.
That was pretty funny. Ian says wet girls love 70 Challenger RTs. That is accurate.
It is.
360 Valiant, building a 360 for my 69 Valiant as we speak. That's awesome. Great
That's
engine
another
for
one I want is a Valiant.
Awesome car. Valiants are cool. Joe says great story talking about your dad's Challenger. Ian says farmers are the Mopar secret. I swear they are.
They are.
And
that is a very true proven fact.
It's like they had a bunch of money back in the day and they just bought all these badass cars that were around locally and they just stored them because they had places to put them. And then it's
funny too, and it's really not just the Mopars either. It's kind of cool. My fiance, her dad has a 70 or 71 International 1210 pickup.
Sweet,
dude, original, and it was his dad's pickup. And all the farmers back then, they bought those International trucks just for farm trucks, so they're all beat to crap. And this thing's nice, and it sounds awesome. It's got a 345 International in it. It's sweet.
That's cool. But yeah, I always, every time I hear stories about farmers with a collection of Mopars, I know that someday there will be an estate auction. I just need to be ready because I've already watched a couple of them that I've missed out on because I didn't have the money, and I just watch these auctions and I see what some of these cars go for.
Did you watch the one here in Iowa? Was it last year or 2 years ago? There was a guy in Iowa. He had one, and it wasn't just Mopars. There was a bunch of stuff, but he had a ton.
No shit.
Ton of cars.
Ruben, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, just hanging out.
Yeah, I was watching the live stream, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this is one of those ones where you can pop in. You know how those guys do that?
Oh yeah.
We can pop
I'm
in and
glad there's
stuff.
not a cat purring right now.
Absolutely. Hey man, did you make it out to the track tonight?
Yeah, I did. Roadrunner didn't make it out,
Yeah.
but I went out anyway and
Yeah.
watched the Fox Body Mustang sideswipe a brand new F-250.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
man. What
yeah, it was
happened?
pretty exciting. It was just super cold outside, and the track was just like ice. And the
Oh.
Fox Body
Was
Mustang.
it that, or was that just a Mustang thing?
A lot of the cars were doing it all night, man. I mean,
Wow.
these cars. I mean, it was like cars were losing their shit because at the track at Wild Horse, they prepped the track only 100 feet out.
Oh shit.
So after that, you've got cars that are basically doing, their wheels are spinning, and then they hit that no prepped part of it, and they just go sideways.
And then game
And
on.
this Mustang,
Wow.
this Mustang just went sideways into the car next to him.
Oh.
It was pretty wild. Yeah.
It don't
That's
matter.
nice.
It don't matter what car it is. I never like seeing one eat the wall or anything like that.
No,
Yeah,
man.
we were making Mustang jokes all night, but it was
I would have been too.
it sucked because the Mustang was like a 9-second car, and
shit.
it had a parachute on the back, it had a roll cage, and it wrecked into a brand new F-250, like just right off the lot. It still had the dealer license plate, the paper
God.
one that you get,
Yeah.
the paper one, and
Oh,
all the
man.
airbags went off inside the truck.
Oh no.
So the truck's just fucked,
Oh
and it's
man.
just like, this sucks, man. That sucks, dude. So it
Yeah, that's a shitty Friday night, that's for sure. Damn.
yeah. And the guy went with Will. He was like, damn, dude. He goes, screw Friday the 13th, man. He goes, what's up with Friday the 14th? He goes, this is some crazy shit. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Hey, Ruben, we had John on earlier to talk about the No Name Nationals, and we're gonna have another live with him tomorrow to get more into it.
Cool.
Are you gonna make it to Sykeston? The
Uh,
Roadrunner and everything?
I just heard about the new date, dude. So I'm not sure anymore, dude.
I don't even know the date yet.
Yeah,
It was the 26th. Sounds like it's getting pushed out a couple weeks.
What month?
He said it was in August. So if it's late August, that puts it into September. The only issue with that, now that I think about it, is shit. I have Holly's Mo Party, which I'm committed to as well. So I hope it doesn't fall on the same day. That's gonna screw everything up. I need to talk to John about that.
I need to figure out when the Knoxville Nationals are too.
Because I can do 2 weekends. It's going to cost me a lot of money, but I could probably swing that.
More of it.
Yeah. If people wanted to buy some Talking Mopars swag, go to talkingmopars.com. It all goes to a good cause.
Oh, I gotta help this little guy out.
All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not usually used to doing this on my phone, so I hit the button. I was trying
No
to
worries,
pull
man.
up chat. Oh, there it is, chat.
That cat, man, all night.
Yeah, so I've been having a pretty bad day today. So
I saw some of that, man.
Yeah. So when I went to the track, I decided to wear my Johnny Mopar shirt.
Johnny Mopar, yeah.
Yeah. It's like my blankie. So Johnny.
Yeah, that was tough. I was out working and I was like tired of the radio and I was listening to a podcast and stuff and I was like, I wonder if anybody's on YouTube that I can listen to. And I saw that you were live and I was like, oh shit. So I jumped on there and it was just Mr. Hyde just sitting up and I was like listening to the music and shit and I was like, is Ruben even there? I was like, what's happening? Is that Ruben in the background singing? What's going on here? And then you showed back up and I was asking guys, I was like, what did I miss? And they're like, oh, you need to go back, man. Watch the video. And I'm looking and I'm like, fucking Ruben, the psycho, going 6 hours live.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I was gonna do like, and it's just all, when you do the YouTube thing, man, you're always just trying to come up with something fun to do.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I really like the lives like you do. So I was trying to do a live of us putting the transmission in the morning and then resume the live at night, attach my phone to the dash of the Roadrunner, and send it down the track live. You know, and I thought that'd be cool. That'd be cool for people to watch. Is watch a dude install a transmission in the morning, and watch that same car go down the track live. You know, I think that's pretty freaking cool. So, but things didn't turn out the way I wanted to with the transmission. That's a whole nother story. I mean, the thing is, man, is, you know, I'm always in a hurry with this shit, you know, and, you know, it doesn't go as planned when you're in a hurry. You make little tiny mistakes that snowball, and you just can't get back. You can't backtrack from it. So anyway,
you live in.
That's
you
one
live
thing.
and you learn.
That's one thing to regret is being in a hurry and half-assing a lot of stuff that I did on the red car that I have to go back through and redo.
Every time I fucking hurry, something bad happens. I've noticed with my shit. It's just one of those things. But you made a great point on your live about, hey, don't be doing this shit right before Sykeston. You know, it's that last minute shit that it either goes really well and everybody's like, holy shit, he did it, or it goes south real quick, and you know, you never want to be on the losing end.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, man, because I was so disgusted when I ended that live today. I was so disappointed in myself. I was so embarrassed, you know, and because it could have went two ways. It could have went where I looked like a badass and just installed a transmission and then sent a car down the track that same night, but it went the other direction to where, you know, I asked myself, why am I putting this on the internet for people? Like, people must think I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that somebody can learn from it, you know, because nothing's perfect. And I did say that in my live. Like, this is somebody in their garage. This isn't TV. And
exactly.
The thing about these lives is, like, these live wrenching sessions I do is, dude, it's like jumping out of an airplane, skydiving. Like, this is all or nothing. You can't edit this. There's no going back. If I screw this up, everybody on the internet's going to see this right now. And that's, you know, that's putting yourself out there.
It is.
But it sucks when shit like that happens today because, you know, I've been through this before, man. And I'm like, dude, I hope people aren't thinking I'm a moron, you know,
dude.
I'm like, you know,
I love the authenticity of it. That's what I love the most.
No, I appreciate it, dude.
It's not like you know, on TV where you see the fabricated drama bullshit. It's real life. This is Ruben is a real guy in his garage. No production company. You know, real shit. Dude. That's what people want to see, and that's what I like to see.
You're doing something more than most other people are doing too. Most everybody else ain't.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Like Johnny says, you're ballsy.
Oh, dude, like I'm just as good as the next guy, dude. I can go in my garage and make a talking head video, and I do that and put some cool music behind it, and it's all edited bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can edit out all the part. Like, if I had just been making a video today, I could have edited the shit out of that video, and you guys would have nobody would have ever thought. You know, the craziness that went down. Chris, I don't know if you saw the part, dude, but somebody in the chat recommended we go to a transmission shop to see if they can get the torque converter to seat in.
No, I got there too late.
So check this out. I remembered that you can do this with StreamYards. So my laptop was in the garage.
Yeah.
I invited myself into my own stream, and I took my phone. I took the stream and 17 people with me to a transmission shop live, dude.
That's so awesome.
Is that this is the power of this shit right here, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It was like going on a live adventure. You know, and I built that transmission myself. Like, you know, that shirt or those stickers that say "Stand Back." I built this shit myself. Like, literally, like, stand back. I built this shit myself. I've never built anything in my life, but there was one little problem that was wrong with the transmission, and it snowballed. You know, but anyway, you know, Roadrunner it'll be on the road. So
it's
one thing. I'm too scared to touch transmission.
What's that, Ruben?
Oh, I just wanted to say congratulations on all this YouTube stuff you've been doing, man.
Thanks for encouraging me. You, Brian, a couple others were encouraging me to do it. And I finally just said, you know what? What's the worst? I have a whole back catalog of podcasts I can upload and then start doing other stuff on here. So, plus, you know what really pushed me to do it was going on your guys' lives and seeing this community in the comment section. Like, I'm looking at the numbers from YouTube right now have trumped Facebook all night, and my numbers aren't anything what yours are on YouTube.
Dude,
But
you'll do that in 6 months, dude.
I just like seeing the community. I was telling John earlier, there's something about this YouTube community that I got into late, but thankfully I know guys like you that have a great following, and then you know, you surround yourself with a bunch of cool people, and it's like I haven't seen any trolls, but I have a great time just hanging out in the chat sometimes. That's why I jumped on your live, because I knew that, you know, if I was hoping I could just listen in, but when I found out that no one was there, I was like, oh well, I guess I'm just hanging out to see what happens. And then I was curious. I was like, okay, where the hell's Ruben? Why is the road, you know? So it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do live, and
Yeah.
right. And
What's up?
Yeah, dude, the live things are cool, man. But yeah, I've been listening to your podcast, you know, when I'm at work and driving around and stuff. And I noticed earlier you said that, you know, you didn't have any video on your podcast. I don't think that really matters, dude, because I don't think YouTube, I think the algorithm, it can't really, I think it's just listening. So I think in your podcast, I think you're saying all the right keywords. You know, it's just being consistent with it. You know, as long as you're consistent, you know that. I don't have to tell you that.
I just with YouTube right now, I'm like, I wish I could upload everything at once just to get it on there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people are like, oh, he's only on episode 4. That's why in the description I have to say, hey, this was recorded, you know, in 2019 or 2020. I hope people are seeing that, because you know, this is episode 118. So I'm like, you know, I've got a lot of catching up to do. So I'm going to be posting to YouTube for probably a few months, just every day, 1, 2, 3. Some days I was posting like 5, but
dude, you'll probably trigger the algorithm like that.
Yeah.
You know, you'll probably trigger it just from uploading so much. Yeah. You'll probably trigger it.
It's definitely interesting. But podcasts are one of those things where, like, you either enjoy them or you don't. You're more of a visual person where you want to watch people working on cars, or, you know, will it run videos, that kind of stuff. So I understand that aspect. But everybody that I've talked to, I agree with them 100%. If you have the content, why not put it on YouTube? What's the worst that could happen? Gain a couple, you know, listeners?
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
The two good things, the one good thing with the podcast, at least for me, like, you know, because I always listen to it on my speaker at work, but then driving home, I mean, everything else, though, if I'm sitting down or I'm not at work, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. So YouTube, you're gonna kill it on this. Like, it's gonna work.
We'll see. I like I said, I really like the community. I love the Facebook community too, but it's different on YouTube for some reason. Because it's like everybody, like, I know that the guys in there have their own content, so I can go subscribe to them, check out their stuff. It's just on Facebook, it's like everybody's got their profile, so it's like I feel weird on Facebook because I feel like I'm standing on a soapbox, you know. And on YouTube, it's like, oh no, I'm here with a bunch of other content creators.
Well, yeah, I think we kind of, with our little group, we kind of did that. We kind of pulled a bunch of content creators together.
Yeah.
You know, even some of them that weren't normally, you know, like Jed. Jed usually didn't hang out much with other people, you know, but we pulled him in, but I think a lot of that on YouTube too is so people kind of get to know you personally. Where Facebook, I don't know, Facebook seems kind of distant like that because people are just constantly just scrolling through, you know?
Yeah.
But
I
you could also
see that.
pick up a lot better. I've got 200 followers on Facebook a lot faster than I've got the 200 on YouTube. And I think a lot of that is just because people are scrolling through and, oh, there's something, I'll follow that.
It's easy to like. It's easy to like stuff. For some reason, it's easy to like something, but people are always a little bit more hesitant to subscribe to something.
Yeah.
I wish that it wasn't I wish it wasn't the word subscribe. I wish it was just straight
I wish it was
follow.
follow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
subscribe just sounds like money, and people just
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yep.
Even though we all know it's free, unless you want to get like the special YouTube shit.
No,
But
I'll never do that. I'll never put. I don't care how big. If my channel blew up, I would never put my stuff behind a paywall.
see, now I did, and it was a mistake on one hand because I just wasn't prepared for it. I had a really busy year last year, and I just didn't have a good plan. I'm
Yeah.
finally caught up. I didn't want it to be where people that would normally listen to the podcast would feel like they're getting gypped because they're like, oh, he's got all this extra shit. I really wanted it to be, hey, if you want to support me in the podcast, it's obviously helping me out a lot, but I'll also give you something in return. So it's completely optional. I didn't want it to be like, if you want any of my stuff, you have to go over here. I didn't agree with that at all.
Yeah. Look at Redneck Me. Don't have my Christmas tree down yet. I've been too busy working on that car to do anything.
Yeah,
Dude,
Brian's been killing it.
I wanted to say something about that, dude. You're calling people out.
Yeah.
Building
I'm
a
gonna get
car
that
from the
car
ground up.
Yeah. I'm actually, fingers crossed, there's a bigger call out in the works, but we can't say anything about it.
Okay.
There's a pretty big, if it all comes through, it's a big call out.
So you're building this car from the ground up.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I pulled the old rear end out of the shell. It is actually a shell now.
Wow.
That was the last video I did, and I'm welding the floors.
I didn't know where the event was going to take place, but I had seen some of your videos that said Road to Sykeston, and I was like, what is going on here? And then I was like, oh shit, he's building a car from the ground up for the event. Hey. I'm glad you have the camera where it's at because I don't want to see the ginormous balls you must have. That's nuts, dude. I hope you make it. If there's anything I can do to help you.
I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted an event like this to come up to really put a fire under my ass. And
yeah, no, I'm excited for you, dude. That sounds really cool.
If I don't get the car done, I'll have to totally disappear from YouTube, and you guys will never see me again. But...
Oh no, you have no choice. You have to get it done.
Okay, it's getting done.
We will burn you at the stake.
I still have to convince her. She don't even know about it yet. I just found out about it today, and it's like, hey, honey, can we go to this? It's 5 hours away.
Just say, hey, I heard Sykeston's a really cool vacation destination. It's pretty cheap.
Her dad is funny. I was talking to her dad. Her dad's got pulling tractors. Her and her brother, they do, her dad and her brother, they do pulling tractors. And he was like, I took my International down there a couple years ago and pulled with it. He was like, yeah, I think there's a drag strip down there. I was like, see, he's game.
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but there's like 4 or 5 hotels like 5 miles away from the track. And there's now one thing I do. I've been trying to tell everybody. There's a restaurant down there that's like famous in the area. It's called Lambert's, and it's home of the throwed roll. So like the rolls that they have there are really good. And they throw them at you. Yep. You just hold your hand up, and they'll throw a roll. And if you don't catch it, just let it go because they're going to throw another one.
Yeah, if I can't participate, I gotta get out to that event just to be there, whether I fly out or something. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to get either Blake and Mike from DIY Hemi or Chris and Matt from the Mad from Monroe podcast to go to. And then, of course, Johnny Mopar. I want everybody.
I'd love to see Johnny out there, but I don't know if he's going to. That's a long haul.
Dude, I wish I had some more money flowing in because I really just want to be like, dude, no excuses. I'm buying your ticket. So you're going to not take my offer for a ticket or what?
Yeah, but somebody like Johnny Mopar.
Like airplane ticket?
Yeah.
Somebody like Johnny Mopar, I don't know if he could go to an event like that again, like he did Duct Tape last year, and not have a car there. That's the hard part.
If that's what it takes to light a fire under his ass again,
I'd call him out in his duster too if he'd come out.
Oh shit!
Ooh, boy.
Right here, episode 118 of Talking Mopars. Brian calls out Johnny. A little A-body on A-body crime. I like it.
Yeah, I was smart. I'm putting a small block in mine. They fit better.
Now, Ruben, if I mean, God willing, your Roadrunner makes it out to Sykeston, but
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you can't get the car out there, are you still planning on going and just spectating the event or what?
No, I'll never
Whatever.
spectate an event in my life. I'm either in the event or I'll wave to it from the other side of the world. But
Okay.
yeah, man, if my Roadrunner's not going to Sykeston, I'm not going. If my Roadrunner's not
Okay.
going to Duct Tape, I'm not going.
Well,
Yeah.
the,
right.
thing, the only
He's
one I
got
would
about the
do,
same attitude I do.
the only one I
I don't
wouldn't
blame
bring
him.
a car to is Mo Party because there's just so much going on there. Chris can tell you that. It's hard going out there as a content creator and concentrating on filming.
Well, you want to know something crazy? So I had this big plan to surprise everybody and get the Mr. Norm truck out there for this year's Mo Party, and I couldn't get enough time off work to drive it out there. So I was like, oh, I'll just ship it out there and then ship it back. The amount of money it costs to ship, I was expecting like $2,500. I'd be willing to
it's stupid.
spend about $1,200 each way. I figured that'd be reasonable, but then I start thinking about fuel and stuff. I'm like, it's probably going to be more. They want like, I think the lowest quote I got was like $1,900 one way, and then everything else was like
Wow.
$2,500. I was like, I need it round trip. That's $5,000. You're out of your mind. And then one shady hauler was like, I'd do it for $1,600, and I'm like, is that one way? And they're like, no,
Oh,
round
Johnny,
trip. I was like,
come on.
fuck no.
Come on, Johnny. You're just saying a lot for somebody who ain't even going to be at the event.
Oh, is Johnny in chat? I don't even know how to get to chat.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
All right.
Yeah, this chat grew.
Jed's in here. You guys aren't watching chat.
Hey,
I
Jed,
put in
what's
there,
up?
hey, I'm not. Hey, how come I didn't get an invite? Jed didn't know he was live either. Nobody knew this was happening.
There's
Hey, John,
there's a
what's up?
link in the
Great.
chat. There's a link in the chat for anybody that wants to jump on.
I think you got to scroll all the way up for it.
Yeah, holy shit. I've been like halfway up this chat.
Yeah, you may want to throw another link up.
I will right
That's
now.
what we got to do every once in a while. Throw a link
Yeah.
up if somebody wants to jump in.
Johnny's
All
gonna
right.
be pissed.
The link is posted.
I was just playing video games with Jed. Honestly, that's what we was doing.
I wonder what Johnny's gonna say to that call out.
He said, "Don't make me smoke your ass." Oh
Dude,
shit!
it would
You
be
can't
epic.
now, Johnny. You can't talk shit if you're not going to the event because I'll show up. I'll be there to be like, huh? I guess I beat Johnny because he's not here.
I'm glad. Hey, are those is that troll or that bot, that porn bot still on there? I don't see it.
What?
Thank God.
What's that? I need to. What was the link? What was the link? Oh, sorry.
Shout out to Loveface XYZ. Wet girls are here. What the fuck, dude? Come on. My first time going live on YouTube and I get trolled that hard by a bot, nonetheless. It's not even a real person.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucked up.
That was hilarious.
I hope that stuff never happens on my live because I'd be like, oh, we're postponing the live for a minute, guys. Going black.
Let me share my screen. Actually, I want you guys to join in.
No, that'd be creepy.
Joe, I saw this comment earlier and I wanted to talk about it because I actually heard you on Ruben's podcast or his live stream saying that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, somebody actually that's amazing to me. I guess that makes me an influencer.
Yeah. Joe was on the live stream.
Yeah, that's badass.
I don't think Brian was there. I think Brian and Jed had taken off for the day, but Joe went live in the live stream and was showing off his charter.
I saw that.
He had mentioned that he got into Mopars because of Chris from Talking Mopars. So he has a pretty badass charter, man. So if you
did
that to somebody, this guy doesn't have a run of the mill like just Mopar. He has a badass six charter.
You don't see those. You don't see the 66 or 7. That's awesome.
he made me feel pretty good. I was like, did he really just say that? Holy shit! And I'm looking at his car, and I'm like, damn, he's got a fucking badass car. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It actually made me feel real good.
Yeah, well, I was impressed because not only did you just get somebody into Mopars, they didn't drag like some $1,500 Mopar home.
Yeah.
Like this guy went all out. He's like,
Yeah.
he went into Mopars. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
wow. So I was like, dude, that's pretty awesome.
This is my buddy from down under. This is Dodgy Ross. He says, "G'day, Chris. Hope you're well, mate." So Dodgy Ross is I won't give him all the credit, but he talked shit to me in this email one time. Again, he said he's sick of hearing me on the podcast talking about what I want to do and what I'm gonna do because I never actually do shit with my projects. And I was like, and I had been feeling that way for a while. I was like, fuck, the podcast is kind of picking up steam and I'm putting more effort into this than any of my projects. So I felt like I was dead in the water with both of them. And he sent me that message, and I was heated. I was like, this motherfucker talking all this shit. I was so pissed. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, shit, he's right. I kind of feel like I just need to start all over again. And if it wasn't for him pushing me over like I was on the ledge, he pushed me over the ledge, and then I ended up with the truck that I wanted. So, I mean, and then I got this van now. But now I want a car again to add to the collection. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Your bot's back.
Motherfucker.
Sometimes it takes a stranger to yell out the window as they're driving by, "Hey, stop being a pussy."
Really, I was being a bitch, and I was talking more than I was doing. I just got too involved. There you go, guys.
There it is.
These Why me, guys? Come on. Why me?
Oh, it's so funny.
So yeah, shout out to Joe. I can't believe I got you to get a badass charger. That's really cool. If you could write a review for Talking Mopars and say that would be great.
My problem is even the A bodies are getting priced out of. They're
nuts.
Priced out of the market.
They're not. I knew I fucked up when I put my '69 Dart shell up for sale for when I had it at like 2,500 to 2,300. I started getting hits like that. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, shit, I put it up for too cheap.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to find it a good home. You know what I mean? Because I felt bad that I wasn't getting anywhere with it.
I was going to embarrass Johnny. Is Johnny still in the chat?
I'm sure he is. I'm trying to get
him off.
I was going to say, hey guys, don't forget to purchase your Johnny Mopar pajamas. He's selling pajamas now. Johnny Mopar.
What do we do? Are we in your bedroom, Ruben?
What's that?
Are we in your bedroom? What is? Oh my God!
The best place to be.
Best place to be. It's where the magic happens.
Yeah, I went to the drag races, and
How'd that go?
I'm in the doghouse right now, so I'm in the guest bedroom tonight.
Oh,
I don't mind it though. I don't mind it. The guest bedroom's not too bad, if you know what I mean. I'm hanging out with my buddies.
I don't know if you guys can see this couch behind me, back here. I've been spending a lot of time on that couch lately, and I enjoy it now.
Yeah, it's a little bit of serenity, dude. I'm not. You know, I'm like, the guest bedroom has everything I need.
Well, that's what I was telling my wife because we're actually through while all this is going on with the car, we're moving, and our old couch we're going to get a new one, and like the microwave we're getting a new one. So that stuff is going to my shop, and I'm like, once it gets a little warmer outside with a couch at the shop and a microwave, and I got a coffee maker there. There's going to be weekends where that's where I'm at. I'm going to sleep there working on that damn car. Yep. I got to get that thing done.
Brian, I'm rooting for you, dude. I really want to see that all come to fruition. That's going to be huge, dude.
Yep.
The more I think about it and actually prioritize the stuff in my head and put it into a timeline, I really don't think. I mean, I know I'm going to run into snags, and there's going to be times where I'm going to run. Feel like I'm going backwards, but I think I'll get it. I don't think it's going to be that hard. It'd be real nice if I was rich and just had a big pile of parts there. I'd have a thing done in a couple of weeks. But
Hey, don't. I mean, I'm all for doing it yourself, but if it was me, I would probably reach out to a couple companies and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, and I'm gonna do it, with or without your help. But if you were to help me, and people are gonna see this shit, you know what I mean?
I've actually got viewers that are doing that.
That's awesome.
I got a guy. He's got a. I don't know if he's in here. I'm horrible with names, but he's got a. He lives about 3 hours away from me, and he's got an old Duster on his property that has a bunch of parts that I could use. And he's like, "Hey, I want it off the property. It was here when I bought the property. If you want it, come get it." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Gosh, when I heard you call somebody out from the ground up, I was like, that's a different level of call out.
See, my first call out, and nobody has taken me up on it. But my first call out was, if anybody will do what I'm doing, start from the ground up and build a car on your YouTube channel. You can start a YouTube channel and say, "Hey, I'm building this car for what was the name of? See, I'm awful with names, and it's late. No name nationals. I'm building a car for this. You'll get the 500 subs, because I think this thing is going to really go around the automotive community in YouTube. I think there's going to be a lot of people knowing about this, and there's going to be people who will just be searching no name nationals. So if you have that hashtag in your video or in the title of your video is going to come up.
I've thought about it, and I was like, if I can get my channel up to 500, I was like, I think I might fly out to either Arkansas for my buddies up there, or down to Louisiana for my buddies down there, and with $1,000, just see what I can get for within $1,000. If I can get something, drive it up there. And then John made a good point. People were talking about giveaways. I was like, fuck, I'll just give it away. I'll just buy it and then give it away after the event. I might just buy a burnout machine and just do that burnout contest and just light them up and just blow that thing to smithereens. I'd be like, hey, whoever wants it, you tow it home. See you later.
Wait a minute, Jed. Why are you going to this event? Because you say Jezebel's a ground up build again. Are you going to this event?
Is Jed going? Is that a call out?
Yeah, is that a call out, Jed? Because I don't want to race you. That car's fast. I've heard that car run.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see who all is going to show up to this thing. I was telling John, we were chatting earlier, not on the show, just through messaging or whatever. I want everybody that's bringing a Mopar to that event, I want to get on this show to kind of talk about their project and hype it up, and hopefully maybe get them a couple more subscribers or whatever. But I thought that would be cool, kind of the build up to the event, just talking to everybody that's got a Mopar, it's talking Mopars. So of course I'll be rooting for all the Mopars that show up. So I thought that would be fun.
Well, Jed does make a point. Your cars are never done. If it's done and you're like, oh, I could do this, or, oh, look, I broke this.
Brian, how far are you from Sykeston?
Oh, I'm only about 2.5 hours away.
Oh,
I'll get to sleep in that day.
Which direction?
North of St. Louis.
You're not.
Oh, that's
far
right.
from me at all.
That's right. You're St. Louis.
I'm 3 hours from St. Louis, north on the Iowa side.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are you familiar with any of southern Iowa?
Not really. I don't usually head that way. See, but the thing is, like, I grew up about halfway between where I'm at now and Sykeston. I grew up down in southern Missouri, so I've known that whole area.
You'd be closer to, like, you said you're north of St. Louis, right?
No, I'm right. I'm right. If on a good sunny day, I'm in Illinois, but on a good sunny day, I can see the arch from my front door. I'm that close.
Okay. I'm only 3 hours north of St. Louis on the Iowa side.
But it's like me and my wife. We like to make trips and stuff. Like we go to Mo Party. We went out to Jed's house, which is 4.5 hours away, just to drop off Christmas cookies. We like doing that kind of stuff, and then we find out that this event's in Sikeston. It's like, well, hell, that ain't nothing. I'm
He
waiting for
picked a
next
good
year.
spot. He
I'm
picked a
waiting
good
for
spot.
next year when it's somewhere where I can actually take a drive and have a vacation.
That's how I feel about duct tape. It's like in my backyard. It's in Tucson. It's 2 hours away.
Shit. That's another event I want to go to. After watching your videos, Ruben,
Like,
and seeing the type of cars that go there, I'm like, those are my people. Like, I need to
Dude,
go
that's
there.
what I've said in so many of my videos. I'm like, these are my people. I
Yeah.
finally found my people.
Yeah. I
It's
was
like,
like,
it's like gypsies on wheels. Like
Yeah.
it had this gypsy camp vibe to it. It was just so cool. And when I saw that charter, like we're driving to duct tape, right? I'm driving from Phoenix, which is 2 hours away. And I'm cruising with my buddy, and he's towing his 72. And I look, and I see this blue 70 Charger come flying by us, and they had a roll of duct tape on the dashboard. I thought it was so fucking cool. So we get to duct tape, and me and Johnny are bullshitting with them. Dude, they drove 2,200 miles in a ratty 70 Charger with duct tape, a roll of duct tape on the dude, that was when I saw how many people made a pilgrimage to duct tape, dude, that's an important event. You know what I'm saying? Like when people are driving from across country in the
That's
cars,
insane.
like
Yeah.
that's crazy, dude. Like that's
My
crazy.
steering wheel should be the duct tape drags trophy, I swear.
It's all duct tape.
Not just-
Zebra print duct tape.
Not just any duct tape, zebra print duct tape. He went the extra mile.
Nice. But yeah, I felt same bull crap I went through today. I went through a duct tape, but I actually made it. I got to I installed the transmission at 2 a.m. I got to duct tape at noon. I sent the car down the track, a couple hours later, and I felt like I accomplished so much until I pulled into the parking lot at duct tape. Dude, people were putting engines into cars in the parking lot. And I thought, oh, dude, like, I mean, it was just like, it humbled me. I was like, oh, dude, all I did was install a transmission. These people are building cars in the freaking parking lot for this
What's
event.
awesome about that, though, is people are still doing that. You look back at, like, the old NHRA days when there was, like, Grumpy or Landy and whatnot, and they're putting engines in back in the hotel parking lot and whatnot. I'm so pumped that people are still doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's only gonna get better
pretty
too,
cool.
because with this whole YouTube content creator trend, this is still young in the game. For the next 20 years, people are going to be creating more and more content. Pretty soon, was it one of you guys that was talking about the metaverse and how it would just be able to just hang out in your garage? I thought that was pretty. I don't know how crazy that's going to be, but I don't know. The whole content creation thing. I really want to see a comparison between what happened at duct tape, what you're talking about, and what's going to happen when you get a bunch of YouTubers together who are all creating content. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a party for sure. That's what I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I was actually watching a video today, and it was about I don't know if you guys probably. No, I don't think any of you guys are old enough to remember Max Headroom, that guy from the '80s. He was you got to look it up. Okay, but he was supposed to be a computer generated character from the '80s. There was a bunch of stuff that he did. But the guy was talking, and he made a really good point that anybody that's 20 years old or under, the whole idea of TV is weird to them, because instead of being able to pick what you watch,
Yeah.
you've got this funneled to you, and this is all you got. Like what we grew up with was on TV. That's all you had. We didn't have, or I didn't have anywhere
You have
close
3
to it.
channels, if.
Yeah, you know, and well, even if you had cable, still you didn't get to choose.
Mhm.
Not like you can now, you know. And they actually
Yeah.
compared that to like the aqueducts in Rome. Yeah, everybody had water, but all they had was water.
Yeah.
The
You
aqueducts
bring up a
didn't
good.
funnel orange juice in everybody's house.
So Brian, my kids, I hooked up the antenna when we canceled our cable. We canceled our cable like a few months ago. So I hook up the antenna one day, right? And my Fire Stick died. And my kids are watching cartoons, and they asked me. They said, "Dad, the cartoons are off. Something else is on TV." And I walk up and I go, "Oh yeah, it's just a commercial." And they go, "What's that?" Because they live on Netflix,
Yeah.
and then I pay the $10 a month for no commercials on YouTube.
Yep.
They didn't know that the show stops and a
Oh, that's
commercial
funny.
comes on,
That is
and
funny.
they were freaking out. They were like, "Turn it back on," and I'm like, "No, you have to wait till all this is over."
Man.
Yeah, they were freaking out. They were like,
I think
"What?"
I was fortunate enough to be one of the last generations growing up in the 90s to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was trippy. It was trippy.
It's definitely a different world.
But
Oh, yeah.
you know, I was saying this to my girl the other day because all my kids were born in the smartphone era. You know, I have a 6, a 4, and a 9-month old. You know, my grandmother can tell stories when she was a little girl. They still had the whatever lamps that you walked around with.
The oil.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
not
yeah.
everybody had
Oil
electricity
lamps.
and shit. Well, look at she's 87 years old. Look at the world she lives in now. Look how far it's come.
Yeah, that's
So,
insane.
okay, I've got a 9-month-old daughter that's holding a smartphone. You know, she just plays with it or whatever. How far is this world going to go when she's in her 80s?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, is she going to be saying, "Oh, when I was a little girl, we didn't live in the metaverse. Like
Yeah.
everything was real." You know, like how far is this going to come? Like in my grandmother's thing where she was holding a light candle and then she saw somebody walk on the moon. She's seen them break the sound barrier. And then she's seen these smartphones come into existence. Like, you know, like, damn, that's crazy. You know, in one lifetime, all that technology,
Yeah.
you know, like, are these
it-
smartphones going to be like caveman shit one day?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's crazy how quick they get accustomed to it. Because my daughter's 2.5, and if you hand her a phone with like a game or something, she immediately starts swipe. She knows exactly what to do. And my wife and I don't necessarily like give her a phone or a tablet all the time, but she's definitely exposed to it. And how quick she acclimated to it surprised the hell out of me. I was like, wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a wild ride, man. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it just happened, but we just saw my wife in the background. She just showed me my channel just hit 300 subs. So
yeah, buddy.
Congrats.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
You're welcome, Brian. I've been talking about you for 3 hours.
I got the last one or two just from this right here. So
That's a good wife.
I want you guys both to get that. You guys more than deserve it. You guys are so gangster with those lives, dude. I my hat's off to you guys. I was like, they took that thing to the next level. Now I'm sitting here at 3 hours going, God, this is like nothing to them. It's like 20 minutes.
Well, you know, like, because my girl, like, she's been bringing it up. She's like, that's crazy. You're doing like 6-7 hour lives. And I explained to her, I go, the conversations are so good. Like, okay, you were doing a live with Dylan, right?
Mhm.
And say you're thinking in your head, I should probably shut this off soon. Then I popped in and you're like, oh shit, Ruben's here.
Yeah.
And then another hour goes by and then say Brian pops in. You're like, oh shit, Brian's here. How do you stop it?
yeah,
That's
that's
why
why
they
That's why they
hard.
go on
Just
so
like-
long. It turns into one big hangout.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you turn this off? You know,
That's
especially when we
the
start talking
whole
about
thing. I
cars.
got to figure out the editing better because we've had times where we're 3 and 4 hours in, and then like Johnny Mopar pops in, and we have this great conversation. I'm like, nobody's going to see this in the VOD. I need to figure out how to cut this out and make it its own video. You know?
Mhm.
Just imagine if all the channels got so big that there was like a central fund where he's like, nobody's got any excuses of not going to any of these events. because because this entire circle of content creators, we have 3 private jets. we've got transportation.
I'm a no fly.
You know, you get up there like Derek from Vice Grip. You know, he can go anywhere he wants, anytime he wants, and make content wherever he wants. That's what I was saying, Chris. You ought to, if you know anybody with some property, because I know there's a lot of woods out there. You need to take your van out there and throw a bunch of leaves and shit on it, and because all these people on YouTube don't know. You can make that a will it run video right there.
I'll do it different.
I should drag my Roadrunner into that field I got it from and do a will it run video on that bitch.
I'll do something different. It'll be will I get arrested, and I'll just drive the van through school parking lots until I get pulled over. Like, what the hell, sir? What are you doing here? I'm making YouTube videos. Yeah, sure you are. Step out of the van, please.
Yeah, you driving through a school zone in a van with a camera. Yeah, that'll.
I
free candy down the side of that thing.
I told somebody the other day, I'm like, man, if you watch my YouTube channel, dude, I've been doing a 12-month will it run video on my Roadrunner.
I'm going to be doing an 8-month will it run video on that Duster.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you started a YouTube channel from ground zero and you just did a will it run video, it's like, all right, that's the quickest way to get 1,000 subscribers. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, I did that one. You know, like I said, I just got 300 subscribers. This was back when I had like 50 subs, and I had that green Roadrunner in the shop, and that thing had sat. The last inspection sticker on that was 1978, and it was a 71 Roadrunner. But we fired that thing up, and I had a video of that thing firing up, and that's got like 1,600 views.
Wow.
So, you know, somebody would, when I think I may have had 100 subs at that time, but that one video got 1,600 views. I wish all them sumbitches would have hit the damn subscribe button.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool you brought
the crazy part.
It's kind of cool you brought the inspection
with 100,000 views, man. Oh, sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's kind of funny you brought the inspection sticker up. I still got the 83 inspection sticker on the top of the windshield that Dad had on.
That's what that's actually, because I was listening to Chris's stuff, and I was like, man, I got a pretty cool story, you know. And then because I didn't want to do the phone in thing, and I'm like, you know what, he's doing lives. That's how I actually started talking to Chris. Was like, man, I got this story on this Roadrunner. You got to hear it.
It was a good one too.
Yeah. I wish that car was still around.
Yeah, stories, man. Mopar stories.
Oddly enough, and I don't mention this a lot, but oddly enough, the very first video I ever put on my channel right now is sitting at 98,000 views.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. And I didn't do it when I had a YouTube in mind of starting a YouTube channel. And I wish I would have put fucking subscribe into that bitch. I wish I would have put hit the like button, but it's my very first video and I didn't do any of that. And I'm
can't you add that shit now though? Oh, can't you add like an end card or something?
You could add an end to it. Like
yeah,
you could go back. You can go back and edit any of your videos at any time.
Yeah, I tried to. I think I did put an end thing to it. But the son of a bitch is 45 minutes long. I don't think anyone makes it to the end of that thing.
Yeah. Have you seen that? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's when I bought the Challenger and I put the Roadrunner up for sale. This guy from New York was like, hey, well, can you make me a video of your car, dude? So, I can see it more in detail. I was like, sure. And I did a 40-minute video or something, man, or whatever, of walking every detail about the car. And I said, I'll make a YouTube channel of it. That way I can just give people the link that ask for more details. And I made that video and it's at 98,000 views right now.
Wow.
But never in the video do I say subscribe. Never do I say, because that wasn't the intent of the video. But
Well, it's probably because you were trying to sell the car, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. People, that if you got a car for sale and do a video up on it, people look
Mhm.
that stuff up.
Yeah.
This makes me
Yeah.
this makes me legitimately want to actually do it now.
What,
Start a
do it?
YouTube channel?
Yeah, do it.
Oh, I've got it, but I don't even do anything on it. I just watch. All I do is I just watch YouTube all the time. I never
Start
post
making
it.
videos, dude.
That's all it takes is you just got to do it. Believe me, like I said, I've been friends with Jed longer than I've had my channel, and he bugged me forever to start. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to someday. I got to get this and this and this. He's like, no, just do it. But yeah, not just me shouting out my friend, but have you seen that video of Jed's with that Fury?
No.
That's one that, oh my God, it took off. I think it's up to like 90,000 now, and he did
No
it like
shit.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And
That's
who
that's
would
pretty
have known?
big numbers quick.
Yeah. But it's like, well, he's got a bigger channel, but still. Yeah, I know it took me long enough. But no, he's got a bigger channel, but still, I mean that who, and it's a really cool car. I'm not sure what year it is, but I mean, it's a Christine car, and who would have thought that something that old would bring that many views? But you never know what people want to watch.
Maybe 57, 58.
Somewhere around there, he'll probably put it in here.
I'm still surprised at the videos that I have that have the ones that have reached the most people are ones that I would never have expected.
Those
I
are
guess
the ones.
that's
Man. The ones you sit down and you go, oh, dude, you're just so proud of the edits. You love the video.
Great.
You think it's gonna be great. Those are the ones that flop. And then the ones where I'm like, oh, I got to put a video out this week to keep the algorithm happy. Here you go. And I just throw it out there. Those are the ones that do good.
Yeah, there it says 58 Fury dual quad with AC.
That's badass.
Yeah,
I just would have never thought
YouTube,
that people were into that kind of car,
Oh,
Is that what color is that Plymouth?
They only made those cars in one color.
You
gotta watch the video. He says a lot about it. I learned a lot about those cars.
There was one I seen on YouTube. I don't remember what year it was, but it was like a creamy white color, a pearl white color with the gold trim.
Only color they made.
That it's the one doing the burnout on.
Oh, I don't know if it was the one doing the burnout, but like the 50, I'm pretty sure the 58 Plymouth Fury, the only color they made was like an off-white.
Yep. There's this one. It's just doing a
buckskin
wicked. It sounds
there.
awesome.
See, he knows. He's so smart.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I didn't know that they only made them in one color.
Yeah, that's like the Christine, the car being red. That car never existed.
Okay, because I always thought like that. I've never seen one except for when they claim a Christine tribute or something. That's interesting. That's cool. I need to get somebody on the show that like. That's one aspect of Mopars I haven't really dug into yet, and I don't know a lot about them. And that's like the perfect time to get an expert on to ask them a bunch of questions like that and learn all those crazy facts. Jed, I did want to ask what your dad's plans are for that van. Curious. Oh, is it Belvedere? Okay, see, now we're learning stuff. I never read the book.
What are books?
I think the last book I read was Boxcar Children, and I was in what? Middle school? Elementary school?
Come on, dude.
Here, he can hop on in my spot so I can take care of this cat and go to bed.
Right on, dude.
It's only 2:40. I'll see you guys later.
That's you started kind of late. This is the time when it really starts getting weird on our lives.
I'll see you guys later.
Later, Dylan. Thanks for sharing your stories, buddy. You're welcome back anytime. Oh gosh, what time is it?
Don't look at that. You gotta learn not to. You gotta learn not to look. If you're gonna do lives,
I know, right?
Don't even look at the time.
When I do the lives,
are you? Oh, okay. So you are. You're broadcasting this on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, simultaneously.
That's what I was going to start doing. I was going to start doing.
What software are you using to do that, Chris?
StreamYard.
StreamYard lets you do it on
StreamYard.
different.
Oh, it'll let you do that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. You have to. I got scared when I tried to do it today because it says you have to like authorize it on your YouTube channel or whatever, and I didn't know if I had done that yet. Apparently, I did because it said something about taking 24 or 48 hours to
Yeah,
make
you
it possible.
You can't go live on YouTube for you got to go through some crap and then.
I got scared for a minute thinking that maybe they needed a minimum subscriber count, but then I was like, no, I don't think that's the case. But it worked out.
If you're
And
going to off of a phone, if you're going to go live off of a phone on YouTube, what is it, Ruben? 1,000 subscribers?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I read then. I thought I read something about that somewhere.
Chris, it shouldn't take you long to get 1,000 subscribers.
I don't think it will.
I'm gonna bet 6 months, dude. The
If
way
you
you're
just
uploading videos, dude.
If you just kind of push it on the Facebook, which is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
To get some of my Facebook followers to come over, and I'm going to be like, hey, just I'm trying to get to this race. Just go over there and click that. I don't like asking people for subs, but for this thing,
I think for me it's going to be.
Chris is looking at his boxes right now, going, "Wait, what the hell just happened?"
I think for me it's going to be a lot of I think exclusive YouTube stuff that bring the people from Facebook over. So I need to come up with something for that.
How's the motley crew of Mopar stuff coming?
We're working on our first video. I still need to get my stuff over there because basically we're basically gonna make a show. So each of us are gonna provide segments to create one show, and then we're gonna see what we can do with it, and then hopefully grow it to the point where it becomes its own little thing. Yeah, we'll see. It's kind of like an experiment because anytime you start something new, it's like growing something from the ground up is so tough. That's why when I started Talking Mopars, I had Talking Mopars and the Mopar Hunter separately. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Because it was like managing two things was becoming too much of a pain in the ass. So I said, all right, I'm just going to ditch the Mopar Hunter and just roll everything into Talking Mopars. And that was the best thing that I had done. Because now, managing both and I was cross-posting shit, and it was like, it didn't make any sense. Jed, what's up, buddy? You looking tired?
You have no idea. It's been a struggle, man. The weather is not cooperating. We had, God dang this hat. Fuck it. I'll wear it normal. So, we had, it's like 45 to 50 degrees every day this week. And the weekend, 10. Snow.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm right in the middle of doing the exhaust on Dad's van.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, I hate to let you guys go. My phone's about to die any second now. But it's been a pleasure, Chris. Congratulations on the YouTube stuff. Jed, what's up, man? Brian, I'll see you later, man. All right, guys.
Thanks, Ruben. We'll see you later, buddy.
All right,
if you're listening to this as a podcast or watching this through Facebook, be sure to subscribe to Ruben's channel on YouTube. It's Muscle City Madness. Good stuff. What's happening?
Stuff.
It's time to educate.
What really makes that car special? Because I don't know those cars at all.
Okay, first I gotta ask, can I smoke in here, or is this like a non-smoking chat room?
What? We just had some people jump in here talking about wet pussies a little bit ago, so I think you're okay.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna need this. So tell me where you want me to start.
Start with I haven't seen this video yet, so let's promote the video a little bit. Tell us about this car.
Well, it's my buddy. 50s era Chryslers are known as the forward look era. They are some of the, you got your muscle car guys, you got your late 70s guys. Forward look guys are the most particular era Mopar guys they are.
Sure.
Like, they are hardcore, you have no idea. they criticize every little nut and bolt on a build. But those cars are actually extremely collectible, extremely rare, extremely valuable. Everything about them. A Belvedere Savoy from '57 or '8 will set you back about 10 grand.
Jesus.
For a crap one. You know, people bitch about prices of Chargers.
Yeah.
Price one of those comes out. And hell, they're hard to find. As far as Furies go, real Furies, insanely rare. Jesse asked me politely not to include this in the video, but this isn't the video. In the Fury registry for 1958, there are only 6 dual quad AC Furies known to exist right now.
Holy shit.
His car's not in the registry.
Wow.
And he was actually going to build a Belvedere, like what most guys do, clone a Christine, car show car. And when we went to the Indy swap meet last year, he had a guy offered him this barn find car. It was found in a chicken coop out in, I think he said, South Carolina or something. And guy brought the car up to Jesse, and he hauled it back home, and it's the real freaking deal. It's a real Fury, and just that in its own makes that car, when it's done, it's over 6 figures.
Wow. That's insane. All numbers matching and shit, or what?
Yeah,
It would have to be with that, right?
Yeah, and the problem you run into is the Furies came with like 3 basic engine options. You have the V800, which is the 318 poly dual quad engine.
Mm.
You have the 350 big block, the first year for the big block low deck engine. And then you have the fuel injected big block engine. And those were a cluster. They didn't work at all. And most of those got recalled. So basically, you have one of those two. And the 350 made 305 horsepower, and I made jokes about 305 Chevys. I don't think a lot of people got that. And then the 318 made 290 horsepower, which factory rating in '58, that was real
Pretty
rating.
good. Yeah.
That wasn't like in the muscle cars when they were trying to fudge them. But you know, that's basically what they rated the 346 pack at. And that's not your ordinary 318 poly. A lot of guys don't know this, but they did build a hot rodded 318 poly, and that was that engine. It's like 10-to-1 compression, got a pretty hot cam in it.
Oh shit.
And like what Jesse was saying in the video, so how it works, the AC compressor, it actually operates the AC compressor off of oil pressure.
Really?
Yeah, on those 318 polys, they have valve cover bolts that go vertical, and those are actually special bolts that are getting oil pressure going pumped through them, and that's how it operates the AC system. It's freaking wild.
That's crazy. Chrysler's always, their engineering has always been like, they've always tried that different shit.
Yeah, and that car, supposedly, so it has a 4-speed in it. Someone cut it up, and they put a 4-speed in it with clutch pedal, and it was running moonshine, supposedly. So imagine, that car was not cheap at all when it was new.
Shit.
And then you cut it up and you make a moonshine runner out of it. But yeah, as I was saying about, so all the Furies, 57 and 8, I believe, were all buckskin beige. You didn't get an option. If you're buying the top tier car, this is the color you get, because it's not a hot rod. It's not going to be red. They wanted to be classy. They wanted to compete with Cadillac and even the Imperials. And what more classy color can you get than this beautiful ivory creamy color? And it plays really well with the gold trim.
Wow.
The problem is that most people don't like the buckskin beige. Jesse and his wife both, they don't like it. Jesse's kind of warming up to it, but I was like, dude,
yeah, but when you get a car of that caliber, you can't just go and, you can't like customize that car, No. It's like okay, just do it right, or sell it to somebody who would do it right, and buy something if you want to customize it.
You definitely don't paint it red. You don't make a Christine out of it, because here's the thing. I have a first edition copy of Christine, actually. Christine was a 57, I think, Belvedere 4-door in the book. The filmmakers use the term Fury because, well, What's more menacing? What draws a crowd in more?
Sure.
And everybody has seen the movie, and I can tell you for a fact, you hear that trope all the time. The book's way better than the movie. Throw your copy of your movie away, buy the book. I don't even like reading, and I love that book. I read that book like 3 times in high school, and I hated reading. And I watched the movie, and I was like, this movie is awful. It really is. So, like in the movie, they give Dennis a charger. I think he actually had a duster in the book. But it's a great book, and there's a whole lot in there that they didn't get to include.
Well, that's like you were saying that the Fury was competing with the Chrysler Imperial.
Yeah.
See, we think about nowadays. You don't think about that, but like you just think Mopar is Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth. You don't think that those guys were actually competing, but they were.
Yeah,
It was the same. It was they were all under the same umbrella, but they were still competing.
Yeah, that was true competition back then. You had competition between the brands, even though they were under the same house. Just different time. We're going to do a video just on that 350 big block because that's not everything will interchange. You can put 452 heads on it, cranks interchange, pistons, rods, all that stuff, intertakes, valve covers.
Really?
It's all the same basic stuff. But when you see the pictures and videos of that engine, you'll notice that everything is different. It's same but different. It's a one-off engine. All the castings are special.
Wow.
Down to the balancer, the bolts, the spark plug wire hold downs, the water neck, the water pump. I mean, literally every single part that bolts on that engine is unique to a 58 Fury engine.
That sounds like a bitch of a car to build, unless you have all the original shit.
I'll tell you a fun one about the engine, because that engine, acquiring that was a whole story in its own. Jesse knew about that engine existing, and he was after it, and I was too, because I want one just to build and hear it run, because it's got the same stroke as a 383, but this baby piston. I mean, it is tiny. The cylinder wall thickness between the pistons like that big.
Jesus.
Yeah, but a guy was going to put that engine in his rat rod because he had the engine. It was his dad's old dirt racing engine. They had taken it out of a car, which would have been a 58 Fury more than likely, and put it in their dirt race car, and they ran it. It had these like weird zoomy headers that were about this long. And Jesse talked the guy out of it. He's like, you're going to put a big block Chrysler in a rat rod, whatever. That's obviously a waste of that engine. You don't really know what you're dealing with. So Jesse actually traded basically 2 DeSoto Hemis that were in pieces, because that's better for a rat rod. And he got the 350 in parts. And Virtual everything is there except for the right valve covers. It has valve covers that are 4-bolt, but they're not the right ones.
Okay.
58, 350 valve covers are a little different shape. But he ended up with the engine, and it's freaking cool as hell. And I mainly want to do that video because I got a friend who doesn't believe me that the balancer's different, and just everything is wild. Like on your typical big block, you got all your accessory holes drilled.
Mm.
Those places are there, but they're not drilled.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And like the casting dates, we're used to all that information being on the side of the block.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just smooth.
Really?
Like there's a big chunk of casting on the front of the block. Your date code's on the back near the bell housing. I mean, it's freaking wild. It's cool. It's a piece of history. That's what I want to film. I want to educate, because I didn't know all that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely didn't. That's cool. I'm gonna have to check out that video. I'll have to share it too, because there's people like me and got a host of other Mopar enthusiasts don't know shit about that.
Well, as far as the Fury video goes, don't worry about sharing it, because that thing, I don't need it to get any more views. I didn't plan on it going like this.
Yeah.
I figured it would be another 5,000 view video, move on to the next one. I appreciate all the new subscribers and the views
Damn.
and the money it's going to make, but I had no intentions of it doing that.
Oh, wow.
I remember the video hit like 30,000 views, and I was telling Brian, I was like, I think it's finally slowing down. Next day, 45,000. I think it's slowing down. Next morning.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That algorithm is so weird. Now I gotta check this out really quick.
Well, didn't you have a video on Facebook that did that? That's what really kicked off your Facebook stuff. You had one video that you're like, oh, okay, that's doing good. Oh shit, that might be doing real good.
Yeah, it was a 85 Shelby Charger, and then I was at a Good Guys event, and there was this I think it was a 67 Dodge Dart with a slant six that it was just basically a throwaway Dart. It was in all right shape or whatever, and he wanted $25,000 for it. So I kind of did a walk around of the car and kind of built up the suspense. Like, you won't believe what he wants for this thing. And I was like, I don't know if he meant 2,500, but he's got this thing on clearly for 25,000. He's out of his mind. That one hit like 900. I was like, holy shit. The Charger hit 400,000 quick.
Damn.
But I'm actually curious to see what happens, because I do want to just, no editing or anything, exactly the same, throw it on YouTube and just see what happens. Because I don't know if it was just Facebook was just pushing live videos at the time or what. But I also use...
That's another thing. That's a car that you don't think people would really even care about.
And it may just be the fact that it's one of those cars you don't see all the time. You know, like, I wonder what that's all about, you know? Because I I know how it works. I put the word ratty, and Charger in that bitch. So, people are like, ratty Charger.
But that's like, I've got a video on my channel, like my second or third video of my buddy bringing home his 426 Hemi from the machine shop. I went with him to help to pick it up and everything. And I'm like, well, hell, this has got a Hemi in it. Everybody's going to watch this. Nope. That's one of my least watched videos.
That's one thing you got to keep in, like, everybody wants a Charger, but a lot of guys can't afford them anymore. So Charger views are down.
I believe that.
And the same thing goes with Hemis. Hemis are about the most, there's hardly nothing you can do on a Hemi on YouTube to get any kind of views, because everybody's got the mindset of, yeah, that's kind of cool to watch, but I can never afford it, so why would I get into it? And that's kind of just the way that goes. But as far as
it's like your Duster and Yard Dart videos.
Oh yeah,
they do better than anything Jezebel. And it's not to say Jezebel's not a cool car, but
I think what really struck with the Yard Dart was the fact it was so different. Everybody was doing Chargers at that exact moment. Dylan had his, Chris was obviously doing all his. I don't know who else, but I know there's a lot of guys building Chargers, and I brought that freaking 66 pile of crap home, and I didn't think it would do that. I a lot of guys know me for Jezebel, but I put all the credit for the channel in the Yard Dart.
That's crazy.
I really like that car too.
I remember the first time I saw Jezebel, I was like, fucking A, man. I loved it. I was like, yes. That was, I was like, any man that is willing to put Jezebel down the side of his Charger, I was like, I like that guy. I was like, he's got cojones. I like that. He's got balls. Because, like, it just seemed like for a while there, it was like, get a Charger, restore it, give it, pretty paint. But once the ratty muscle car thing took off, I was like, fuck, everybody with a ratty muscle car, they're going to hit. And sure as shit. Man, I love it because it kind of gives the blue collar guy, a little bit more room to work.
Well, I think that's what it is. I really think that's what it is. You got to have a relatable car,
Yeah.
You have a car that people can relate to and be like, oh, yeah, I had one of them, or I could get one of those,
I was like, with roadkill shit, it seemed like everybody started hating on General Mayhem as soon as they put the Hellcat in. It was like, well, no shit. You guys put an RV 440 in it, people are gonna love that shit because everybody knows where an RV is with a 440 in it. They can get for $300. You know what I mean, or free. So like, I like seeing that kind of stuff. So
the whole problem with that, if anybody's gonna do that, if you see an RV somewhere out there, the problem with getting an RV with a 440 in it and taking the 440 out is you have this huge hulk of a piece of crap sitting in your driveway that nobody wants. You can call all the junk guys you want. They'll be like, nope, don't want it.
I don't know how crazy it is where you guys are. Getting rid of any car parts in Washington State is insane. I went to the scrapyard with 2 bumpers, 2 shit bumpers, okay? And I went there and I was like, I just want to scrap that. You don't even have to pay me. I just need to dump these off somewhere. They wouldn't even let me dump them for free without showing them titles. And it just so happened that I had 2 titles in my truck at the time. And the guy goes, do you have the title or titles? And I was like, not for these vehicles specifically. And he's like, do you have the titles? And I was like, oh, yeah, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, he goes, these are for these? And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay. And then I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then I went to the dump, the transfer station, to just dump some shit. I stripped out the van. When I got my van, it had some shitty bucket seats in it and some wood paneling and shit, right? So I took out the bucket seats, took out all the paneling, stripped the inside of the van, and I went to the dump. And the 2 seats were sticking up out of the bed of the truck, and I went there, and they were like, oh, what do you got? And I was like, just a bunch of junk. And she goes, are those out of a vehicle? And I was like, yeah, an old van. And she goes, oh, well, we can't take those. I was like, why? And, oh, we can't take car parts without titles. You have to take those to a salvage yard. And I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, well, what? She said something about we don't know if they're stolen. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go steal shit and then take it and pay to dump it. And then I go up to the pit and I was like, hey, man, I asked one of the attendant guys, I was like, hey, man, this lady says I can't dump these. And he goes, just fucking toss them in. So I tossed them in. But they're getting crazy because you get all these tweakers and shit that I guess, obviously steal a bunch of metal and catalytic converters and shit and go to the scrapyard. But even if you're not trying to get paid for anything, they still want titles. But I guess they don't care what the title's for. They just have to make sure they see a title. It's
well, that's the thing. Here you can't scrap a whole car without a title, but
I understand that. I understand that. But that's another thing. I was like, what if I just, take frame and just cut it all up and throw it in the back of a truck or a trailer and take it to the dump? Are they going to ask me for or the scrapyard? Are they going to ask me for a title? Yeah. If they think it's a vehicle, they will in Washington. Even if it's cut up, you could bring them a fender cut in half, and they still want to see the title. It's insane. Like, all right.
That's weird.
Washington is a fucked up state. I can't wait to get out of here. I cannot wait.
Illinois is bad too, but it seems like I'm going to be stuck here, so I got to live with it.
I think Texas is where I'll end up eventually. It seems like it's a nice central location in the country. Can get to things easy.
I was looking at Tennessee, actually. There's a lot of people moving to Tennessee right now, but
Nashville's nice. I like that area.
The problem with Tennessee is just going to be like with Colorado. When Colorado legalized marijuana, you had an influx and flood of people. I got friends who live in Littleton and all over Colorado, and they said they can't stand living there anymore. The price of everything went up.
Yeah.
And they can't stand it.
Sure. Hell, they legalized marijuana in Illinois. You still can't get people to move here. There's still people leaving.
They legalized weed in Washington, and everybody's doing heroin and shit.
Yeah, it's just like they step up and like, come on.
Or instead of smoking a joint or something, I see these kids, I'm like, are these kids smoking crack or what? They got a fucking torch and a spoon and they're like, oh, it's weed. And I'm like, what are you? It's like weed crackheads or something. It's weird as shit.
I don't know what these kids did to weed either, but it's been a long time since I've smoked any, and I've seen the fucking friends of mine do, and they sit there and get high, and they just bam on the couch, not moving. I'm like, well, what's the fun in that? It's like, Jesus.
I got a lot better things to spend my money on.
Yeah, me too. It's like I don't even drink because I got better things to spend my money on and better
I can't agree with you 100% there, Brian.
I'm with Brian on that one.
I
I'm gonna drink alcohol when someone else pays for it.
You know what? I kind of agree with that because I got whiskey here that was a tip from one of my customers. So if I don't have to pay for it, fuck. If nobody's gonna drink it, I guess I'll have to do that service for the community.
Well, yeah, you gotta get rid of it. You know, you can't just leave that around for kids to find.
No, absolutely not. And what am I going to give it to a homeless guy and contribute to his habits?
Oh, yeah,
no, of course not.
No.
I'm not that nice.
Invite them back to your place. Maybe have a good time. Experiment. Maybe
Oh gosh, maybe you never know. I got a van after all.
There you go.
Speaking of vans, Jed,
Yeah.
what's the plan with this van? I still need to watch the rest of the video or videos.
Well, make it legal, run and drive mostly.
Yeah.
Just your typical boring stuff.
Nice.
If I was doing it, it would just be funky cool, Dad kind of wants to make a love wagon out of it for some reason. I just don't know why.
Your dad in a love wagon. Get that picture out of my head.
Yeah, I know. Every time we go to Walmart, we got the fabric back at Walmart. They got this really long white bird. And he has a vision of the entire inside of the van being white fur. And I have this reoccurring nightmare. I'm kind of glad I'm awake because I might not get it tonight. I'm going to walk out there one day to go to work, and I see Dad's pickup in a service truck, but he's not in the house. And I'm going to hear some weird noises. I'm going to open the back of the van. He's going to be there butt naked, face down in the van, stoned or drunk or whatever. He's just going to be like, woo, rubbing the furry walls. And I'm just going to have to end my own life because I'll never be able to get that out of my head.
That's a new one, rubbing the furry walls.
Rubbing the furry walls.
But yeah, right now it's been 2 weeks now, ongoing project, fighting weather, trying to get the side pipes mounted, building a whole new exhaust for it. We just got the grill, a stock grill in the mail, and want to get exhaust situated on it. Tall John's sending us a cast iron intake with a carburetor to get rid of the 2-barrel crap, see if we get it running better like that. Just mostly, it's going to be seeing if the 360 is actually worth a darn. And if it isn't, hopefully when it isn't, we can put the 440 in it.
That's one thing I want to ask you. So I have a 360 in my van, but I have this 400 that I've started to do a 451 on. With the van, I'm trying to figure out if truck mounts will work from like a 72 to 80. They will.
Same mount.
Thank God. See, I can't get a straight answer from fucking anybody. Thank you, Jed.
Well, I have a friend, Sean Fat Tire Thomas. He has an Instagram. He's a big van guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he came to meet me at Indy, and he told me truck van mount same thing with headers. Rear sump oil pan, and I think that's really all you need. It's pretty simple.
That's good because I've been trying to. I'm like, I heard no, they're not the same, and I'm like, are you sure? And then every time I see the mounts like for parts, it's the same part number, so I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, am I gonna have to go buy a fucking RV? These motherfuckers again.
They're back.
They're back. Girls here, streamer recommends. You motherfuckers. They better start paying me for this advertisement.
When
look at that. I endorse these people.
I take them off screen and they're still there. Oh God, that's gonna be stuck there. Oh no, I blocked him and it's stuck on screen. Of course, cool. For those of you listening to this, the porno people are back, and they're not getting off screen. But
Nope.
yeah, I was actually going to reach
so you
out
want to put a big block in your van?
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
When are you planning on doing this? Like soon, or?
I to be honest with you, I don't know. I just have it, and the engine still needs to be assembled. And I still got to get a crank.
Well, if it takes till if you come out to Sykeston, if it takes till then, I've got a set of mounts out of a motorhome.
No
And
shit.
I'll give them to you.
Really? No shit. Okay.
Yeah, and that they should be the exact same ones because the motorhome had a van front end on it.
Yeah. That's what I thought I was gonna have to go get.
Yeah.
Because people were trying to tell me that they weren't the same as the truck. I'm glad I cleared that up. Because I was gonna ask Sean, because I know that on his purple van he had a 440 in it, right? And then on the pink one, Vanther, he had a 440 in it too, right?
I can't.
I think it was.
Does he got a YouTube? He's got a YouTube channel, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. He don't really do a whole lot on there.
He needs to come out to this thing.
He's got some videos on his vans on his YouTube channel. He just put one up not too long ago about. Oh God, I can't remember. There's too many freaking people on YouTube.
There is too many people on YouTube.
There are. That's why I didn't want to come over. Like, what the fuck's the point?
Oh no. There's room for everybody, but it's just hard. So many people got so much good stuff you want to watch. It's hard to keep up with it.
Now, can you share?
I was unemployed.
Can you share YouTube? Like, that's one thing that I liked about Facebook is that you can share content. Can you share stuff on? Is there a way to share like other people's videos and stuff on YouTube without like stealing their shit?
Yeah. There's a share button. When you get 1,000 subscribers, you get access to a community page on your channel.
Actually, I don't think that's even at 1,000 anymore because Ruben's got a community page.
No shit.
I know some people may have got grandfathered in. I don't know, but I've got a community page and I can share my videos to it. I can share Brian's, yours, anybody's. But then you can also share it externally to Facebook, wherever. And I got my groups I have listed. I always share my videos to, just because there are friends of mine who don't want a YouTube account, but they want to stay current on the videos.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'll put them on Facebook so you can see them and then you can go watch them.
Well, this is really pissing me off that I can't get this off the screen.
Just click on somebody else.
Yeah, click on somebody else.
You can't just pull up somebody else's comment.
There we go. Okay. I see I blocked him, but I don't understand why it was still showing on the screen. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Shit, guys. I'm not Brian or Ruben, so I'm gonna shut this bad boy down.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. I know Jed's tired. He's just being nice being on my little channel right now.
No, I'm awake now.
Jed, we're gonna have to
Jed, let's go kill some more zombies. Oh.
Jed, I gotta get you back on the podcast again. I gotta talk more about Jezebel and some of your other projects and shit.
Anytime, man, you hit me up.
All right, brother. For those of you listening, those of you watching on Facebook, Jed, very well known, Scott Speed Shop. He doesn't need me to promote his shit, but if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe.
Just stop. The baby channel. I don't.
It's not a baby channel.
Blow up his van videos. Like and subscribe just for the van stuff, guys.
Just like and subscribe because you know you're getting on somebody's nerves by doing it.
Brian, Dust Devil Garage.
If he has a live, make sure you donate to his live with Super Chat, like $1 or $2. Every one of those dollars puts a gray hair in that kid's head.
Don't support Brian.
Brian from Dust Devil Garage building a duster from the ground up for the No Name Nationals. That should be a good time. Lots of good content. You're going to be cranking out content for the next 6 months, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, the video, probably the first start video of the car will be coming out after the Nationals is over because I'll have to be so backlogged with content.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So subscribe to these gentlemen, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And thank you, too, for joining me and everybody else that joined me tonight. And we will see you next time right here on Talking Mopars. No Mopar Left Behind.